goes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first stream of 2023.
Welcome, everybody.
Times, they are a-changing. If you've been with us for very long, you will recognize that was perhaps our shortest starting soon screen ever. Yeah,
we're doing away with it.
End of 2022, we had a podcast called End of an Era. We did a stream called End of an Era. If you missed all of that and you're expecting daily live streams from us that are exactly the same, that's not how it's going to be going anymore. And to tell you how it is going to be going, I'm going to bring in our expert and just genius marketing director, Stephen Woolley, to tell us what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what it's going to be like as we move into the new year.
Hey, Zach. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's really good to see you. I like the sweater.
Yeah, thank you. It is more dignified. If you have the double collar, too, I feel like it's going well. At one point, I will wear scarves. Get ready for that.
It's getting very pretentious.
I think that might be my...
I mean, it's getting very classy in here.
Line through. Might be my midlife crisis as I start wearing scarves, which is a fine one to have, ultimately. Yeah. You'll get a motorcycle, I'll wear scarves.
Man, I've been injecting that conversation with my wife every couple of months, because I've always wanted a motorcycle.
You have, yeah, I know.
And the scale of that conversation from when we started dating was, that'd be really cool. And then it slowly shifted all the way until we got married, which is, I'll never want you to get a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
very
people change,
against it. Yeah. Well, once you have the commitment, it's like, well, now I can be, a little different. Anyways.
You tend to hold on to what you know.
So she still very much doesn't want me to get a motorcycle. We'll see if that happens. But I'm
the power of the crisis is pretty strong.
Of the what?
The crisis, the midlife crisis. The kinetic energy there, it can overcome a lot of objection.
Yeah, well, it's true. And we're getting there. We are. I was doing on the break, I was doing that math, and it's like, I don't know. Just given everyone I've seen in my family, I could be halfway, which is terrifying.
Yeah. So take stock.
How do we get there?
So what are we doing? Well, how is this different? Well, first of all, it's going to be weekly instead of daily. So that's the number one difference. Second, we're really treating this more as we were looking to record some videos, content. Mm-hmm. I hate to call it content ever since that Bo Burnham special. But we're looking to record some videos, and we thought to ourselves, well, wait a minute. We're already recording. Why not just go live and record it that way? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of treating this more as we're just going to be taking, if you thought things were chill before, we're going to be taking the first 30 minutes, which used to be like the intro time, where you'd see the screen and listen to music, which of course I still like that music very much. But instead of just having a screen there, we're just going to be here hanging out, and we'll get started whenever we feel like it.
Well, what does getting started mean, though?
Getting started means for the day, we're probably going to have a few things we want to record. Okay. So for today, we want to do like a 10-minute or so, what's Soulforge Fusion or Soulforge FuseFest all about? So talk about the event, use that in our social stuff to advertise the event and describe what's going on.
So that content will be its own video at some point.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll also play some SolForge. I need to teach you a game on camera. Our intro video is 2.5 hours long. It's a live stream problem, right?
That's a covenant from 2020 to 2022 problem.
Yeah, so I'll try to get a 30-minute, because I'm going to be teaching people at FuseFest. I wrote everybody, and there's some people that took me up on that. It's like, hey, I never played. Yeah, I'll come. So I'm going to be teaching during breakfast at FuseFest, and I need to sharpen my skills on that. And then we're also going to take this raw stuff that you guys are watching. We're actually taking that out into the box, as it were, and we'll do some production stuff on that. That might be over time. I don't know if we're set up to do that yet, but basically think of this as the raw data being recorded, and then we'll actually take this and clip it up more and put it into more produced videos later, but it'll still be live right now.
So for people that dig the live stream vibe, and the long form content,
it ain't going anywhere.
It's still here. It's still here. But then one of the recognitions from us, just kind of in reviewing, prior to the pandemic, in 2019, we started streaming on Mondays. Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic hit, and we're isolated, we're stuck, we can't really do much.
Would you quit talking about that pandemic? I'm sick of hearing about this.
And we started streaming 5 days a week. But prior to 2019, we didn't really stream, except for MonCon 2010.
Yeah, we did the intro series and Netrunner Learning.
So it's tons of produced content. Mm-hmm. But when you realize, like on a random SolForge stream or Fab stream, we'd play 4 or 5 or 6 games sometimes. And then to watch any given game, you'd have to be at like 2 hours into a random live stream.
Yeah, clip it out. Post it as individual videos, what the platforms want.
Yeah.
If we can get these videos down to 15, 10 seconds,
Speaking of which,
we'll be somewhere.
on a previous SolForge stream, I think I made a bet with you that I could teach SolForge in 60 seconds or 100 seconds or less.
There's no way.
So I feel like I need to...
100? That's a weird...
I don't remember what... There was some number. I need to find out what it was.
Like
Maybe it was a minute or
40?
less. But the...
strange.
I might take up that cup as a challenge as like a Twitter video or something.
Yeah.
It's like... Which is one of the things we can do when we're not streaming 4 days a week.
I still think we should move forward with the concept of learn the game in 10-second videos.
Yeah.
Everyone just keeps making them smaller, right? It used to be you'd go to your local store and you'd have a 6-hour session with the shopkeep or whatever. Now it's gotten to, Rodney did his watch it played usually about an hour, and then it got down to 30. Now we've got Professor doing learn how to something in 10 minutes. Pretty soon, why not just take it all the way to 10 seconds?
That would be a really
just be a snapshot.
funny series of either like even TikTok or Instagram videos where it's impossible, right? Star Wars CCG in 10 seconds, as an example.
That could be our breakthrough social media
the
thing,
attempt,
though.
and it's like, here's why this short form content sucks, is because none of it is, you can't do anything real in 10 seconds.
Yeah. In fact, hold on. Let me give me just humor me for a second. We'll do the first take.
I'm almost exclusively here to humor you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you have 10 seconds to describe how to play the Star Wars CCG by Decipher.
Hold on.
I'm going to get the timer out.
I feel like these...
Now, if you're thinking you're already doing social media wrong, you need to just splash it out there. Just put it out there, Zach. People want to know what you have to say, okay? It's important that we all agree to this. Star Wars CCG by Decipher in 10 seconds.
All right.
You ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Pick your favorite character, build a deck, and run your opponent out of force before you run out of force. Done. That was 6 seconds. That's all you need to know about Star Wars
seconds
CCG.
to spare. You could be dancing in 4 seconds.
4 seconds, you do a little jig, and you say, also check out moisture farming. And then that's the end of the TikTok video. And then it's actually like, hey, if you really want to learn this video...
Also, buy my products, teamcohen.com.
If you really want to learn this and you found this funny, we have a 13-part stream series where you can learn everything you need to know about Star Wars CCG.
Go from 6 seconds to 16 hours of content. We're your guys.
100%.
I thought that was really impressive, huh?
What just happened?
Yeah,
I mean, I literally just thought...
Do you want to run with that, Bryce? Let's do the series. Let's do the series.
Gumption is high. We were just talking about focus yesterday. That's
focused on gumption.
Just games that are middle-air CCG in 10 seconds. If you actually tried to explain it, it's like, all right, the phase of the turn are...
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Anyways, let's check in with chat. I saw people coming in saying stuff. Torres saying we're back. Frank saying, woohoo, I'm glad this is on Wednesday.
Colin caught us on the there early.
Smagby, we're going to talk more about FuseFest, but it says, how pumped are y'all for FuseFest?
Dude, I'm jacked. There's over 70 people coming to this thing.
Currently. And
that's with 3 times the size of the biggest event so far, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest so far was at PAX, and it was low to mid 20s. And it's a great... there are a few things worth mentioning. We see a lot of times with these events, towards the end, a lot more signups happening. So I'm curious what will happen with an event like that. This weekend, we're actually hosting a Fab Pro Quest. It's on Sunday. I want to specifically mention, if you haven't signed up for that and you're planning on coming, you should sign up for it, because it's the only way to participate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's any of these unique deck games or hybrid deck games where you can just show up. If you're unfamiliar with FuseFest, it's a set 2 pre-release. So it's the first time set 2 is going to be viewed or played.
This is the first time we've ever done pre-release. Do you think about that?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing on earth, because everybody is on equal footing, kind of. But it's equal footing. It's about discovery. It's naturally more casual because nobody really knows what's good or what the rules are. And
there's very limited deck building, right? So if you haven't played, you can keep watching this stream. We're going to be doing as you said, you're going to teach me how to play. You're also teaching people how to play. Breakfast is 8 a.m. at the event on Saturday, February 4th?
8 to 10.
So breakfast from 8 to 10, where people are going to get their first batch of 4 decks, right? And then 10 a.m.
and some biscuits and gravy, some B&G.
That's right. Some classic Oklahoma biscuits and gravy.
I assume.
It is on the menu.
Okay. You checked.
And then at 10 a.m., we're doing kind of like a sealed event, pre-sealed, right?
Yeah.
couple of rounds for new people. It's
like
a good way
round
to just figure out how to play
Crack it and
do
run
that
it.
and meet some people. And then after that, is there a lunch break before the tournament?
So there's going to be a lunch break between the sealed event and then the constructed event.
Okay, so a break, a little bit of a buffer, and then there will be, with the 8 decks you have from set 2, and technically you could trade with people or something.
You can trade, you can
just
buy.
have to be set 2 decks.
I mean, I'm not your mom.
That's right.
You can do whatever you want.
Don't tread on me. Then we're going to have an event, and it's going to be, it's nice because for people that take it seriously and like are good, they'll probably do well and they'll be undefeated at the end. We're going to record some games.
Yeah, I wonder who those people are.
But for most of us, I'm just looking forward to exploring the new set and meeting a bunch of people. I mean, these people, it's not just, there's people from all over the country I've seen registering for this. So that's always really awesome.
Our old boy Casey Richardson's coming. He never played Soulforge Fusion in his life.
I love it.
Yeah.
On that note, we'll talk about this, I'm sure, in the when we were talking about FuseFest. But if you don't already have D10s, recommended.
Yes. If you're new to the game, even if you're not, I think it's really the best way to do it. It's funny because you didn't have the D10s this morning, and your lovely wife is bringing them to you.
Yeah, she's taking time out of her day to bring me the dice.
Zach took his bag of tricks home over the holiday, and then forgot that the D10s were among them, and she's bringing them to us so we can have them on stream today. It's very nice. That's how important they are.
Yeah, I have 2 10s. One's empty and one has all the dice in it.
Yeah.
And
a 10 of D10s?
Last, November, December, last time we streamed SolForge, I thought I had the dice here and I didn't because the 10. But we haven't streamed since then, and also I haven't thought about it since then.
Yeah.
And then today I went and grabbed the 10, it was empty. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this.
So what's really the jam, you get 10 red 10-sided dice, D10s, colloquially, and then 10 green D10s. And that's probably, you know what's crazy? You know what's actually crazy? I looked at ordering these wholesale from ChessX. Mm-hmm. You can order them cheaper on Amazon.
As an individual.
Then we can get them wholesale
with free shipping if you're a Prime member. It's really...
So, I don't know. I'm not going to suggest you... do that if you're... Certainly, your price is the main motivator. They're like $5 on Amazon, and then, your local store is going to have them for probably $11, I think, is their retail price. And then probably a number of places in between. But D10s really make this game awesome. They make it easy to see. And you know what? There's this whole thing. Have you heard this growth mindset thing, Zach? I'm so tired of hearing about it. You hear this growth mindset?
I see a lot of people on Twitter talking about side hustle and how to make $80,000 a month doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that. I'm not sure exactly what the movement is, but here's how I had it described to me recently in a YouTube video where a guy was talking quietly and slowly, which I appreciated.
Okay, yeah, I'm into that.
I'll give you the guts of it.
Okay,
is typically you have a reward-based way of engaging with anything, and the reward is where you get that dopamine hit, or the serotonin or whatever chemicals are going on there.
I think dopamine's when you find something you're looking for.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to do these dishes so that I can go watch TV, or so that I can. And so the dishes release dopamine whenever the last dish is done, and you're like, finally, I can go do what I want to do. But this growth mindset, at least as he was describing this growth mindset, is you need to reframe your brain so that it's releasing dopamine through the enjoyment of the effort itself, not through the reward.
Totally.
And it's like it's all just scienceizing the freaking Taoists, man.
Yeah.
It's the Wu Wei all over again. It's just enjoy the present, fall into the moment, these kinds of things, which is great. But those kinds of things are more and more important in my life.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know if I've heard it framed as a growth mindset, but more and more the understanding, I think phones particularly, which they're not really phones. What is sitting right there on the table is way more than a phone. It's insane. Maybe one of, if not the most powerful devices created in centuries.
Yeah, super.
And clearly, as humans, I don't think we've fully addressed how we should utilize or use this thing and the pitfalls. But on the dopamine front,
Candy Crush.
I know that checking social media and seeing notifications or seeing people tag and liking your stuff, it's like every time you check and find that thing and see it, you get a hit and you get a hit.
Yeah.
And when you have these ways in your pocket all the time, it's why it's so addicting. It's like you just need it. You're like, oh, your brain's like, I'd take a hit. You know, I'd do that.
We're gonna check out.
Yeah, so I think it's part of what makes tabletop so appealing is even when you sit across the table from someone, if you're willing to put the devices down and away and just play the game and experience what's in front of you, it's a very different experience, even chemically in your brain.
Deeper level dopamine. I say that because you should enjoy the effort. We talked about the clunkiness. Mm-hmm. The D10s to me with Soulforge Fusion have gotten to this point where I'm enjoying the manipulation of the dice as a facet of the game experience. It's not a means to an end. It's like, yeah, this is something I want to be doing.
I think with the throwback streams over the past couple of years, that came to life for me in a way that was, in some sense, when you're just optimizing all the time, you know, what does it mean to optimize? And if optimizes make this easier and easier to do, eventually you end up playing like with a deck of cards, you play war. And so that's not, for me, it's not a very enjoyable or fulfilling experience. It's very simple and easy and all the noise is removed. Like we flip cards and someone wins or loses over and over and over, right? Mm-hmm. And that, to me...
Where's the texture?
That's social media.
Yeah.
It's like, totally. It's just flipping a card and seeing what shows up.
You know what really social media is now is like, it's actually two automatic card flippers flipping cards against each other. And there's really no human input
the robots
at all.
are creating the tweets and then retweeting the thing and then doing the thing. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole... That's a whole can.
It's a whole vibe.
Can of worms.
Hey, we wanted to talk about Flesh and Blood, didn't we?
Yeah, I did want to say this. Joe Solo earlier saying, can totally see Steven as a scarf person, but I can't picture Zach on a motorcycle. Meanwhile, Tristram says, I can definitely see Zach as a motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
And Torres pointing out rightfully, bets the rest of my family isn't on steel cut oats. So I'm gonna live forever.
You could ultimately get into the... You kind of get into the Harley thing. I could see you getting into it. The black jean jacket.
Dude, the
little chain.
Specifically, there's a Harley that...
Shades.
That...
Long beard.
Captain America drives in the movies.
Oh, I know. You've had your eye on that thing forever.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to own that, but, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wife cares about it.
We'll see.
The end of the most recent conversation, literally over the break, was I'm just going to do research on the stats. Mm-hmm. Like, how much more dangerous is it than driving a car?
You can see I'll never drive on the highway.
And specifically, how much more dangerous is it if you're paying attention and not going, like, I would drive a motorcycle, but not go, I'm not going to go fast. I'm not going to, like...
Yeah, everyone says that about the old motor.
Yeah, but,
Don't drive at night, number one.
Yeah.
And then potholes, man. That's the biggest problem, apparently.
And wear a helmet.
Yeah, wear a helmet, obviously, but...
A plus and a minus. Like, the freedom of riding a motorcycle is what is appealing to me.
Yeah. So you should take it fast, because that's also freeing.
Not necessarily. I'm not a crazy person, I don't think.
Happy New Year to everybody. I see a lot of Happy New Years coming in. It's great to see you, great to be here, great to connect. Just to be around it all. What a miracle.
Brandon saying, hey, someone was asking, I was supposed to actually trying to get to in the chat. Someone's asking if we talked about why the streams are changing. So we talked extensively on the End of an Era podcast, episode 216. You can find it on the website.
We should have called it Beginning of an Era.
Well, this is the beginning of the era.
Yeah, but like then end, I guess, is kind of, that does imply a certain, it is the end of an era, but every era that ends creates a new one. You know? So maybe we should have framed it like the start of the new era, and then people probably wouldn't be asking these questions.
Yeah, but think about how many less clicks we would have gotten.
That's true. It is for the clicks. TC branded motorcycle jackets. What do you think?
Oh yeah, Phoenix. It's built for it.
Yeah.
Put my leather on. I need to start dressing like a biker, even if I don't own a bike. That'd be a fun evolution.
Yeah, it would be fun. I think you can pull. Again, I think you can pull it off. It would be.
I think you could pull off a leather jacket.
It would be.
It's the right. It could be in the right color.
I'm not sure that I want it, but I think you could do it.
Yeah.
The era of extra soluble fiber. That's great, Eclectic Camel. Thank you for that. Updates around the horn. Let's just cover some updates since we're here. We don't really. We have no agenda. First of all, Ashes. You should know. I haven't told you this. I got a picture from Nikki over there at Ashes that the PvE final game is in house, not the prototype. They're sending it to us, the official version.
Really?
So within a week or two, we'll be able to actually play the real one on stream.
Dude, that game.
Yeah, PvE crushed you. It made you like. Well, go for it.
As a I don't know, not a student, like a purveyor of card games my entire life, I guess, or of a person who's interested in this category and fascinated with design and development and everything. The needle that was thread for that game to create a PvE version is, said it on the previous stream and said it a lot, but it truly is a miracle. Like,
it's a miracle.
It's crazy how well done it is and was, and I love Ashes, and so like that experience being opened up to more people is very exciting. To me.
Yeah, it is. So that's coming up, and then we got Flesh and Blood released their next set, which is worth talking about because they're doing some crazy.
They released an announcement about the next set.
Let's talk about. Hold on, let me get to the chat real quick, and then we can officially start that. Can we get Wolfpack jackets from Kafrika? That's also possible. You guys are doing some wild stuff.
Surely there are already Wolfpack jackets, right?
Surely. Chris Hodovec saying, Zach, if you want to know, if you want to ride a motorcycle, go ask anyone you know with a motorcycle to show you their scar. Apparently they all have them. What does that mean?
I will ask.
Do you know people who ride Who do you know who rides a motorcycle?
Interestingly, there's a lot of my in-laws have motorcycles.
Well, that's a great sign.
My father-in-law says, don't ever get a motorcycle. He had an accident, and he's fine. Like, there's no scars or anything. But he's just like, it's too risky. Meanwhile,
just a flesh wound.
A couple uncles and cousins on Serena's side of the family have motorcycles. They use them when the weather is nice. And they all say, yeah, definitely get one.
Okay.
So that, there's some tension there because it's her family saying it, not even my family.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Pock Knight rides a Vespa, which I love. Love that Vespa. Okay, hey, can you pull up a nice NWO jacket?
I was just seeing if I can find an NWO leather jacket.
Let's talk about Outsiders.
Okay, yeah, I can pull that up.
Flesh and Blood announced their next set. And what I love about this is the draft thing that they're doing. So they've done it a bunch of different ways. They've done it a million different times. Like they've
1,000 monkeys, 1,000 typewriters, dude.
4 heroes with a lot of generics. They've done 4 heroes with minimal generics and talents. They've done 3 heroes with like a
shared
tribe pie kind of thing. They've done the most recent was what, Dynasty?
2 heroes that share a talent and
Uprising?
1 hero of a different talent with just 3. That was
weird.
Yeah.
That one was weird. But now what they're doing is they've got 3 classes.
Ninja, Assassin, Ranger.
So for those of you that don't play Flesh and Blood, what every set, is obviously exploring a new part of the world. And so what this set is exploring is Metrics has this area called the Pits. And if you've watched Arcane, it's basically that exactly.
I haven't watched it, but it is on my
But I'm sure they were developing it well before Arcane was published, but it's that exactly. Now, there's not a monopoly on, this concept of an overworld with a seedy underbelly. Like, that's Tales all this time. So I'm not saying anything was plagiarized or anything, but that'll give you an idea of what it is. So there's the upper ground fancy people have, and I'm paraphrasing this. Yeah. They've mined all the gases and stuff out of this thing, and when they did that, there was a bunch of tunnels and stuff that were revealed, and eventually people take up residence down there. They don't have any laws, and it's home to criminals and various outcasts, but they have their own kind of legal system of sorts through, strong handing and swords. Anyway, so we're down in the pits. We're exploring that whole theme. So you have this kind of side thing going on of like, oh, what's going on down here? Why are these people like diseased? And how is that happening? And then are they going to rise up and take over Metrics, whatever? But they've got 2 heroes for each class. And then when you're drafting card pools, but you can choose one of the 2 heroes that you inevitably draft for. So like, if I'm drafting a bunch of ninja cards, you don't know if I'm playing this ninja or that ninja.
Which from the article is Katsu and Benji.
So that to me is pretty fascinating because are there going to be certain ninja cards that are better with one hero or another? So can there be multiple ninjas at the table not taking each other's stuff? Is there going to be generics in the set? Do we know that?
I don't think they've said that breakdown. We also don't know if there's any talent cards. What we do know is 1 Fabled, 5 Legendary, 31 Majestic, 51 Rares, 128 Commons, 20 Tokens, and 3 Marvels.
Wow. We also have dual class cards. Do you see these?
That's the biggest thing.
What's this?
That's actually...
How many ways do they want to slice this pie?
The most. So it is nice. They keep tweaking these little levers, right?
It's not a generic. It's
not generic. It's also
minimal.
not a multi-class card.
Yeah.
So it's hypothetical you could get like an Assassin Ranger card that could only be played by someone that is Assassin and Ranger.
Yeah.
But they have this little line, the pipe in the middle that is Assassin or Ranger. And I think that's one of the drafting format for Fab is probably the weakest of the just based on the way the game is designed. You have these classes, so like a wizard and warrior and stuff. And if you're a warrior, you can't play non-warrior cards. You can play generics, you can play warrior or whatever. But in a set, when you're drafting, compared to something like Magic, the grandfather of all this, you can actually splash cards in Magic from any color. You also inherently play multiple colors in a Magic draft.
Yeah, it's like spoils.
So in that way, when you're drafting a certain number of cards, and in Magic, a certain number of your cards in your deck are actually just resources.
Right.
So you need way less playable cards. But in Fab, like with this last set, was a really good example of after pick 6, there was just so few choices actually happening.
Yeah.
And you were sort of on a path, and if you get cut off by the end of pack 1, you're sort of just good luck. Yeah. So I don't know what the quantity of these multi-class cards is, but generics and then multi-class cards. Because multi-class, developmentally, I think the more generics that you create, the more what do you call it when everything's the same?
Yeah, sameness.
It's not synonymous. It's like or monotonous,
ubiquity.
But it's somewhere in the middle of that.
Monotony.
Anyways, if you have too many generics that are good, decks are going to start looking a lot like each other all the time.
Right. It's always the problem in neutral cards.
Yeah, but then if you are releasing, for Constructed, releasing class cards is really clever because you can release a card for Ranger that is very similar to a card you made for Warrior, but it's going to hit different because it's in a different class, right?
Right.
And maybe come with slightly different tweaks to how it functions.
It'd be worth about 3 value if it's a warrior card.
And about 3 less if it's a
bump
Ranger
those
card.
numbers down to where it's a 3.
Yeah, it is always
no matter what you're doing, it's
that's
3.
the color pie, dude.
Yeah, you get
But
3s.
the multi-class is a nice way to open up a draft format where it's sort of like what we saw with Arya, where there are 2 of the 3 heroes are lightning, and 2 of the 3 heroes are earth, and 2 of the 3 heroes are ice. And it's a triangle. So those cards play similarly.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have these this works for 2 out of 3. But then you also still get to introduce, and it's kind of genius, if there is actually a class color pie, and it's a Venn diagram of classes next to each other where Ranger does share certain things with Assassin as an example, and then seemingly Assassin shares something with Ninja, which makes a lot of sense to me. And who knows how far down that goes. But on the surface, that's a clever way to add something new to the game that doesn't really add anything new to the game.
Yeah.
Functionally, it's not getting more complicated necessarily. It does it just occurred to me, it makes binders a nightmare.
Binders are a nightmare, and pour one out for the deck builders out there. Like the deck builder software people making Fabrary and all that. It's just like every time a new set releases, they change what
Trembling
your
in the background.
classifications can be. Yeah.
So how
homogeneous, yeah, that's it.
Homogeneous. There it is. I knew it was somewhere in there.
Thank you, Chad.
In the pocket. But generally, biggest thing, is it this year? I think it's this year. No, it's next year. When are they moving to?
Oh, you're asking the wrong
3
guy,
draft
man.
sets. I think this year we still have one more.
I think it's just one more.
We have one more supplemental set, or a set that's not a draftable set is like a mainline set or whatever it is. How does this set generally hit you?
The drafting limited portion of it is all that I need. I'm jacked about it. Yeah. The metric stuff or the pit stuff is flavor-wise for me. It hits for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that will enjoy that. I'm glad to see Azalea get some more support. The kind of the grossness and the grimness of the pits is not really my jam. I'm playing Bolton recently, so that tracks. But I'm curious to play. Apparently, there's a trap ranger.
Yeah, who looks absolutely disgusting.
How you make that happen without it being awful to play against is a great question. I just hope it doesn't turn out that is playing against Jinteki Personal Evolution, and it's just, am I going to kill you or not? And then you have to make a decision knowing very little information, and then just roll the dice.
Yeah.
I hope it's not that kind of a vibe. Now, knowing Flesh and Blood, they don't really operate that way, so I don't think it will be.
I mean, it could be as simple as his ability or there's a piece of equipment, or I don't even know. But like the idea is play traps from hand, or traps don't take up your arsenal slot, or I don't know. Like it's not that they are spicy with what they're showing, but they're rarely going like over the top crazy with something.
Yeah, and we saw. I mean, it may be more like Icelander. Like Icelander does the exact thing that you would expect a trap ranger to do. It's like they have something in their arsenal, and every time you try to do something, it's awful.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just
taxes
that.
you,
Yeah.
and some or penalizes you, or damages you, or something like
I'll
that.
almost guarantee that they'll have, the don't, like the text that says your opponent can pay 1 to prevent the effect. They'll like cancel that text on the existing traps at least.
Interesting.
Or maybe they'll just do new ones and be like, these old ones were weird. We were not thinking correctly about
Yeah, instead of trying to
this."
go back, they'll just move forward.
Yeah.
He looks like, looking at this picture, and his name is Riptide. He looks like the kind of
A little watery sounding, let me tell you.
person that would hurt you. See this thing going on down
Yeah.
here? That doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, I know.
I will say, I could. So for me, these are 3 of the 3 classes that I'm not particularly engaged in. Like Ninja hasn't really been my thing. I could get convinced to play Assassin.
You gotta bring out that Kylo Ren underbelly.
Yeah.
There's the darkness. I
this-
feel like the darkness is waiting.
This Uzuri could. It's
Yeah.
like someone from Mysteria that became part of the Spider Network assassin stuff.
Yeah.
That's the hero that
Probably
appeals
still
to me
has a good
most.
heart deep
Yeah,
down.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I will say one thing I really like. There's 3 Marvels in this set, and these are the way they describe that is research on the 3 deadly diseases in the pits. These things look awesome.
The hybrid cards look insane, dude.
Like it's getting closer and closer to being a map.
Marvels?
And I love maps.
The Marvels,
So,
man.
yeah, look at that thing.
They totally blew it up on that. If you're not a Flesh and Blood player, check out the Flesh and Blood website. Look at this preview for Outsiders, and just look at the Marvel version of these codexes.
Of Frailty.
It's so cool what they're doing. I never thought, honestly, I never thought I would be around and a part of a community of a game that actually just might go there.
Do it.
It might actually get up to the levels of the big 3.
Yeah.
At a certain, I mean, it's got a ways to go, obviously, but even where it is right now, it's like this is bigger than anything I really ever expected from any TCG.
I think I've been watching on the break. I watched a lot of content.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Tied it right
Nice.
back to the beginning. And one of the people that I watched is someone I'm familiar with historically, is Simon Sinek. Start with Y, the whole thing. But another concept he talks about a lot is the finite versus the infinite game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 2 very different types of games and or strategies or things. Like finite is defined rules. There's agreed upon, here's who we win. A game of Fab is a finite game.
Mm-hmm.
Publishing Fab is an infinite game.
Right.
And a lot of times I think publishers and businesses frame things in the finite, which is we want to be one of the big 3, we want to be the biggest, or we want to be this successful, or we want to do this. I get the sense that for James and Legend Story, it's an infinite game. So the goal
Approaching
is
it like that, yeah.
to continue to get to expand and explore and publish this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of decisions that even Fab 2.0, I think there's a lot of ways they could have handled that scenario to make more money now or be more successful now. And instead they chose something that just takes a longer term perspective on it. And we'll see how it all plays out. But I get a sense that they're very infinite game minded. Like this is not about success today. It's about, are we going to still be making this game in 20 years?
That's why they're bringing in more draft sets.
That's right. And listening.
Because
and
that's
adjusting.
the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
so Fab looks good.
Look at, there's pre-releases and stuff. ProQuests are starting this weekend. If you haven't signed up for ours, do that. They also announced the Pro Tour 3 happening in sunny Baltimore.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting. I know loosely where it's at. I had to look, and I knew it was close to Washington D.C. And
That's where they got imposed from.
It's kind of between D.C. and New York City. I think that's where Baltimore's at.
Baltimore.
So that'll be interesting. I've never been to Baltimore.
That's Worlds in Baltimore?
Pro Tour 3,
Oh,
April 27th.
okay.
through 30th.
Pro 2 or 3.
A lot of discussion about that.
Got it.
You know.
Are you going?
I'm planning to, yeah.
If you get the invite, if you get the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, that's like step one. We'll see how
You don't
ProQuest
have
season
one like
goes.
cashed?
No, I have spent it at Worlds. And then...
Guess you got to be good.
Yeah, you just gotta go prove it. Speaking of good...
Well, thanks,
Thank
man.
you, sir. This looks exactly like
Wow.
a Desperado.
Triple ice,
Very happy
too,
about
eh?
that. If you've been following us... Cheers, my
That's a
friend.
good
Welcome back to
presentation,
2023. If you've been following us for... Let me take a sip. That ice is like...
You got the cherry and the...
super good.
That's just kind of
Thank you, everyone out there. If you haven't been following us, normally Fab was on Tuesday, and I guess SolForge would have been on Wednesday maybe. But we're have been working for a while towards what we call 3.0 of our local store. Part of that is a cocktail program that we're doing. So Steve and I are, testing it out as they go.
This year is all about that project.
Yeah. The Pro Tour, planning to go. Don't have one cashed. I was going to say something.
Were you missing the part where you were going to get a Pro Tour invite and then still have not?
Well, the ProQuest season hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
That's how you do it. It starts this weekend.
Well, does Hamilton have one for Winning Worlds or whatever?
He's got PTIs coming out his binder. He's got so many PTIs. He just keeps getting them and doesn't need them because he's number one in the world, so he gets auto-invited for ELO or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right. You could try that approach.
Well, yeah, his approach to just win things.
Yeah.
You know what? That reminds me. I remember back in 17 Destiny Worlds. We're practicing in the hotel before the event started. I have this amazing picture where you just like lean back and you're like closing your eyes. I almost died because you're late, and I took a picture, and then you said, "I know what I need to do. I need to start winning." And I just lost it. Like
He did not start winning.
yeah, no, you did good. You were one
did
game
well
out of the
the other
top,
day, yeah.
top cut at Destiny with a Qui-Gon deck, nonetheless. I mean,
Yeah,
you were there
with,
to make
with
a
that
point.
hipster nonsense.
But yeah, so I am planning to go to Baltimore. Even if I don't qualify, I'd probably still go because a lot of the team will be there, and there's going to be a calling and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I'll have to make the judgment call if I don't win it. Win a ProQuest is super hard. I mean, one person gets to
win
qualify.
on Sunday.
But I'll have to make the decision at that point if I remember what I was going to say. If I'm the kind of person that would buy a PTI or
Feels
not.
cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. But what I was going to say...
It's like buying like that mat that says first place,
They announced late last year... Yeah, I don't want to do that. They announced late last year that they were cutting one of the Pro Tours from the schedule this year. Mm-hmm. So, to me, Pro Tour, Nationals, and Worlds are kind of like... I'll just go to those three.
Down to 3.
It was a really nice time. It's 3
Nearly
sets.
all the vacation there is.
They can release a set. They can give it 6-ish weeks and have a big event. So I love that change to this. Last year was too much.
It was too much.
One of my big goals for the year
Gone
is
half the year.
not to be burnt out by the end of the year.
Question from since 1994. Sorry for asking a bit off topic. Will you guys continue with the Arkham Horror LCG Scarlet Keys? I'm very interested in doing that.
I need to get rid of a cube.
You know, the hard part about Scarlet Keys in Arkham in general is it feels like once you pop, you can't stop. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to go check on something.
you've got to...
Yeah, what is the plan with Arkham?
I don't know, but like you have to play the whole campaign. What are you going to do, like one scenario and then stop?
I mean, playing the campaign's divisive though, right? Because you get people that don't want it spoiled. Or
Yeah.
play through it first.
I'll tell you what way we should probably do it is we should probably start at 9 in the morning and play it through till 6 p.m. and do the whole thing. Just do the whole thing all at once, and then we can chop that up into 6 episodes or 7 or however many episodes there are. That's what I'm saying.
There's a 9 in the morning.
There is a 9 in the morning.
You know there are 2 9s.
Yeah, there really is. I assure you. Saw you, Sam. See your comment there. We've seen the new fast forward. We just talked about him. I am excited for that trap focus ranger. I do really hope it's not going to be a negative, really a negative play experience. Because you guys know when you're like, when you're just you're wanting to have a good back and forth tempo exchange with your opponent, and then their game is just stopping you from doing anything. It's not that fun. I'm going to be honest, it's not that fun. I've been that guy many times. Greyjoy Choke, I was that guy. And you know what? In retrospect, for me, it was very fun. Maybe it's just a matter of perspective. It's all the Icelander players and Oldham players feel. And Lexi players. Yeah, let's do an Arkham Marathon. Let's go.
What was the decision?
We're going to do an Arkham Marathon. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Play through the whole campaign.
All right.
I mean, that would get some attention. You're looking for views. That's 2 times a year. That's 2 weeks out of 50, probably 48-ish, 40. 2 out of 40 to Arkham? That's totally reasonable.
48 down to 40. Yeah, you know, all my fab trips are just going to cannibalize Wednesdays, you know?
Totally reasonable.
Yeah, I would do it.
Okay. Well, let's decide it. Let's do it.
That's one way to go.
When we get that board, we need to finish that board, and then I don't know if we'll do any more cycle boards, man.
The Scarlet Keys board?
It's taking up, yeah, it takes up a lot of time.
It's a lot. It's a new era here.
I like them. But,
the boards?
You know, it's not always about what you like.
Or is it?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. What do we need to cover today, Bryce?
He gave us an agenda in the task.
I know, but I don't have the task, do I?
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Thanks.
Hold on.
Sounds like a party out there. What are they doing?
It's just ops.
They got a cake or something? Why are they yelling?
Well, as part of the hiring process for
Rafe is
ops,
always yelling, though.
we have to make sure that it's someone that can be heard over a crowd
Yeah.
for events and stuff. So
Great. So they're testing those skills now.
always, they have to be practicing at all times, especially like early when we get here in the morning.
Yeah, I
It's just
love
like-
it. Great.
Okay,
Good job,
so
HR.
here,
Terrence, today's cocktail is a Desperado. It's
Here-
a tequila old fashioned, basically.
I love Desperados. Huge fan. I didn't think I liked tequila for a long time. And then I was shown the light.
Oof.
Here is the agenda for the day. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
First, what is SolForge? Elevator pitch, recap the rules, and detail how to read cards.
10 seconds?
It says keep it brief. I don't know if it's that brief.
60 seconds.
It's,
This is YouTube short length.
you could teach that game in 60 seconds. That's what
I can
that
tell
was
you
the
what
theory.
it is in 60 seconds easily.
You don't think you could...
It's a game of lane-based card combat wherein creatures attack your opponent and each other, trying to bring the enemy to 0.
Dude, mix all your level 1 cards together, shuffle them up, draw 5.
That's important, actually. We need to touch on level 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
That's
and
probably
then
the whole point.
you're literally going to play a card, your opponent plays a card, you play a card, they play a card, resolve combat, pass the forge, do it again, do that 3 times, that's a cycle. Do that 3 times. You can use your Forge Born ability at each cycle. Mm-hmm. Easy peasy. After every each play 2 cards, you resolve combat and do damage.
Yeah, breezy.
Anyways, then we're gonna do teaching a friend Soulforge.
I'm gonna teach you Soulforge Fusion.
I think that's what that is.
Yeah, that's how that works. We'll get some decks, and then I'll teach you the game.
Then we're gonna do why FuseFest might be the best Soulforge event of 2023.
Well, it easily is already. It's best
Well,
Soulforge
biggest
Fusion
is one
event
thing.
that's ever
Best is a
happened.
different thing. Here's what I'll tell you. I'm looking forward to Saturday night. That's actually
Is generally, or is this?
every Saturday night. Yeah, at FuseFest.
I'll tell you, man, I am living for Saturday night.
Yeah, don't have to be around you hooligans.
Oh, this is worth it for my Saturday night.
As we're playing a game in the middle of the workday and drinking a Desperado. Yeah, I
This
just
is work,
can't wait
man.
for
This
Saturday
work.
night. No, just after experiencing the new set, having an event, everyone doing the thing throughout the day, a big group of people hanging out in some form or fashion. Could be a lobby bar, could be some other location. I don't know where it's going to end up, but I know Saturday night's going to be a good time.
Okay. You heard it here first.
That's why FuseFest segment done. Clip it.
I didn't put that on the description.
And then
event
the last
description.
piece is going to be filming a segment that is last chance for Skeleton Crew t-shirts. The pre-order for that's going to close January 5th. We'll just talk about it.
Let's just do that right now. So, last chance for Skeleton Crew t-shirts. If you haven't seen these, we did this during the End of an Era stream. That
Are we showing it? Is that the goal? Is someone clicking?
yeah, no, we're not
No,
showing
we'll
it.
edit it and show it later.
No, we'll show it later. But Skeleton Crew t-shirts, those are closing this week. Is that right, Bryce? The pre-orders close on
January
Friday.
13th, according to my show notes.
Yeah, so those will. So if you want one of those, this is the last chance to get them. We're just doing a one and done, in and out.
And if you were part of the Skeleton Crew over the past couple of years, serious thank
Even
you
now.
For the support, whether it's views or purchases or subscriptions or buying components. Last couple of years have been incredible, and happy to have you here with us.
Love it. Yeah, so get a little memento.
All right,
A little memento mori. Dang, I need to be in marketing. That's genius. Did you hear that? Nobody?
Sorry,
Mori? No?
I just over the years have developed this capacity to totally tune you out. All right, I crossed through that checklist
That's a skill that'll get you far, man.
of the thing.
All right, let's start with what is Soulforge Fusion?
So it says elevator pitch, recap rules, and detail how to read cards.
Let's just get right into it. Are you ready to get into it?
Do you need anything from over here?
Are you guys ready to get into it?
Give me 2 minutes.
All right, we need at least 2 minutes.
All right, let's see what chat's got going on.
Enjoying Soulforge, says Right Time Gaming. Taught a non-TCG friend, and it was super easy to get them up to speed. Yeah, you know what? Really, the key to this game that I think some of the selling points that people wouldn't otherwise know are selling points. No reaction speed, garbage. Excuse me. No reaction speed, speed.
Garbage.
A natural progression from early game to late game just by playing the game itself. You don't have to, like with Fab, you got to worry about pitch stacking. With other games, deck construction is about, do I want to be a late term deck or early term, whatever. It's naturally going to happen as the game progresses. So you're playing cards and telling these stories. It really is like a story-driven thing. As you play your favorite stuff, it gets strong and you get to play it as its stronger forms. Like, cool. So if you love stuff, you play it and you get better versions of that stuff.
Yeah.
Killer.
Is this the video?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. I was just making sure. I didn't want to wreck any vibes.
No, are you in an elevator right now?
No.
You feel like
know
you're in
what?
an elevator?
Actually, if we had a series of videos that were elevator pitches, but it was literally us in an elevator.
Why don't we just do these things that we keep talking about?
Well, now we have the time. We just got to go find the elevator.
But if we use our time doing these things, we'll have not the time again.
Well,
So
you know,
it's-
strikes and gutters, dude. Strikes and gutters. I will say it would be very funny if we just went over with the iPhone to an elevator, got in the elevator and hit the stop button, and it was like, it's our elevator.
The emergency stop? Just float? I'm not looking to emergency stop an elevator.
Actually, you know what? Elevator pitches while the elevator is just doing its thing would be great.
Yeah, just people coming in and out and we're filming.
I would love to get one of the doors open and Steven's just writing it. He walks in and he's like, "Hey man, have you heard about Soulforge?"
100%.
Let me tell you about
the
something.
elevator pitches series would be killer.
Somebody write this down. Can you write that down? Bryce, write that down.
Hey, you know what?
Write that down.
My brother's office is not very far from here, and their building's like 8 stories with an elevator. We can make this happen.
If we go 1 to 8, I bet we can get it done in 1 to 8.
Oh, you know what? You get in at 1, you hit all the buttons, and you've got 8 stops to tell the story, whatever it is.
Nobody's getting in that elevator if they see that going on either. It's like,
I don't know. It could be awesome, you know?
I'll wait for the next one. Tim has a nice elevator
That's
in the
what I was
building.
talking about.
Yeah, okay. That's Tim. Oh, I thought you were talking about John.
No,
John seems like an elevator guy.
he works from home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, no elevators there.
That's its own series of videos. You want to go out to Owasso and film some
He's in Owasso now?
content? Yeah, man. You buy a house in the middle of the pandemic. It's a really beautiful house, but it's just out there.
It's in Owasso.
Country.
Yeah.
It's not even in Owasso proper. It's like the country of Owasso, you know? So,
Did he like freak out and like was like, I gotta get out of here? Or?
no, I think they always just wanted to have land and like
No, I didn't know that.
space, but not, they're in like a little neighborhood,
Yeah.
but they have it's like in between my house and your guys' situation is
Yeah.
how they're existing.
Okay. Cool.
Is that scary?
The preview monitor turning red? No, that's fine. Jonathan's fully aware. It is very ominous though.
Just a red screen.
I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll talk about Soulforge.
Tell me this.
Anything else on your
Well,
mind?
we're just hopping around. So they wouldn't know this necessarily, but I haven't even seen you since our last stream,
That's right.
like in person. We've chatted a little bit, but how was your break?
Yeah. You know what? I find it more difficult to stop breaking every time I break.
You think that's well? Can you explain that phenomenon to me? Do you have any theories as to why that's the case?
Well, I find that when I'm doing whatever I want to do during the day,
Yeah, it's not this.
not necessarily
Jonathan, everybody, he's here in the house.
inspired by the
his
new
hands.
Wednesday series, got the thing going on.
Did you watch that?
I've watched a few episodes. I think it's fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying on stream late last year. that I have found that I have a weird appreciation for Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And then someone described it to me as whimsically dark. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want in my life.
Yeah,
actually.
that's Burton on it to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy the space to decide. That'll be my book called The Space to Decide.
All right.
But
Can
it's
someone
just,
write that down?
I want to find out what it's like to be tired of doing everything that I want to do all day.
Yeah.
Like, I think there would be a point where I would need to seek out meaning or like something, I would need to give back and like have connections and relationships that are, broader than just my immediate.
But maybe not.
Well, that's the test I'd like to do.
So, like,
at some point.
Personally, the idea of some people have this dream, I don't, which is be successful enough that you can just go be on a beach. End of story.
Yeah.
And like being on a beach for a week or two, very appealing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believe I've never tried it. I've never been like, I'm going to go on a beach.
I think we should try it.
And just see how long it takes me to be tired of this. I think it would take, really, if I actually just checked out of everything.
Now, but the beach example has a lot of baggage here. So, like, are you around your friends? Are you sunken? Do you have the things that you love around you? Do you have a permanent residence?
Let's say I move my entire network of people that I care about to an island.
They wouldn't mind, I don't think.
And I've gone to the Caribbean a couple times, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
As much as I'm terrified of the sun,
yeah,
I burn very easily. Got to be very careful.
It's scary up there,
I love the ocean, and I love the beach, and I love, especially like when it's not like, super crowded California beach or something.
Take it, California.
Yeah, eat it.
Eat it.
West Coast. What up? Anyways, I think if I could port everything, and then it was literally just do whatever you want. And there's a large extent of being at Covenant is what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
But if you took away work, proper, I think at max I'm at 2 or 3 weeks, and then I would be like,
oh man,
itchy. Like, I don't know what that is psychologically. Why I feel that need to be doing something.
I think it's there. That's what I mean. I want to find out. I want to find that answer.
How long that actually?
Because it always feels like you're getting started before you were done getting done.
When you take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're just getting sunk in.
Have you considered taking longer breaks?
Yeah, I have.
It's very difficult
It is difficult.
life.
It's not easy now. These days. I think I'll get to a point where I can do that. I think I could last at least a few years on the beach like that.
At
least, man, at least. So I went out the other day when it was sunny outside. That nice winter sun. You love that when it's like 65, but it's a cool breeze and the sun's full.
Yep.
I went out there and I laid a blanket down and I just laid outside for like hours. I didn't do anything else.
And
so that's pretty beachy.
Do you think were you happy?
Oh yeah, max.
Do you think, is that meaningful to you?
Yeah.
Being happy or just doing nothing?
I think to me it's an exercise in...
Thanks, Terrence. Same shirt ordered.
Maybe the most high-minded way to put it is there is a profound gratefulness for existence.
Okay.
A moment where it's those moments where you realize that you could easily have not been at all. And to be at all is a certain form of miracle. But then to be in that moment, at peace, warm, just perfectly present.
Yeah.
It's everything. I think that's kind of that might be the whole pursuit. They call it pursuit in quotation marks, the whole surrender.
Doing the whole, the points to dance thing.
Yeah, and maybe, and that's the thing is like, the real click of the wheel here is whenever the getting up and working or doing the things you don't want to do, you're as present for those things as you are the things that you love. And then,
I think if you've
made it.
If work or whatever you're doing with your time it's not being as meaningful as the things you love, but if it can be the things you love, then you really have a nirvana moment of...
Absolutely.
just perfect alignment of the stars. I think, I don't know what it is, but, and I'm sure there's some psychological breakdown of people that fit into various categories, but just kind of this underlying sense of, on my part, of you're saying being grateful to exist at all. And to me, it's kind of carrying that one step further, which is like grateful to exist and exist where I'm existing. And then this sense of obligation that with that existence, I ought to do something with it and take advantage of my station, and not in like a, max it out so I can go be on the beach necessarily, but like, how can I actually use this position to offer value? To, I don't even know, to what? The greater...
It's a great question to ask. Yeah. There's a constant tension of that between all of the various philosophies, I think, of how much are you meant to soak it up and how much are you meant to give it out,
Well, and how much is the giving question. The actual soaking?
Is the giving the soaking the giving?
It's like the Friends Joey being like, to give and receive and give. He's giving a wedding speech and he just keeps going, receive and give and receive. Or like a toast at an engagement or something.
Yeah. Because I've always thought the Western and Eastern dichotomy is kind of, it's almost obvious to me that Western thinking typically is you reach perfection through giving and kind of effort to others in the service of others. Obviously, Christianity has a lot of that. The Jesus kind of mindset.
Is Christianity considered Western?
Yeah, for sure. Then the Eastern is perfect yourself so that you can give correctly to others. Yeah. And so it's kind of the same circle, but it's basically, where do you start? Do you say, I need to kind of, I consider the path of wisdom. Do I need to work on this so that this is an acceptable vehicle to help that? Yeah. Or do I need to help that so that this can get perfected through the process?
And even more specifically, beyond self and making self better, a practical example for me is, you have, even in Christianity, the give everything vibe. Yeah. But if I gave literally everything that I had, then I would have nothing. And then my ability, it's a tension point, because my ability to help others is now severely diminished. Whereas if you, look after whatever it is you have well, then your ability to help people is actually significantly increased. But ends, means, justifying all that stuff.
Yeah, I think there's been a tremendous amount of justification to allow for people to both feel good and have way too much, because that is not the message at all. But that's my take.
Is that going to be the philosophy clip? I got strangely weird. I was asking about your break.
We just got into it. And I think it's this, somebody put something in my drink.
Yeah.
It's tequila.
My cheeks feel flushed. I don't know.
Okay.
Are we ready?
What is Soulforge Fusion? Are we ready?
Yes. Just note.
What do we need to know?
The only 3-up that we have that we bring up on the screen is from the blue faction.
Only 3-up what?
Like when you have the bronze, silver, gold all come up on the same screen when you're explaining.
Okay.
We have keywords. We're missing a few cards here and there, but that shouldn't really affect you.
Okay.
Well, in the live,
add it all in post.
I was gonna say the live version doesn't matter.
Right.
We're recording the raw footage.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
It matters.
It matters a little bit.
I mean, it matters to people watching right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to go off the handle here, and you can pull up whatever you want.
That's right. Great.
Okay.
The magic of editing. You remember when that was just the norm?
Yeah.
We did a lot of one takes back in the day.
Almost
we do a one take, but it was partially with the understanding that this will get edited, and we have multiple angles, so like they can remove dead time, they can remove something I said that was wrong, and then we got used to live, and I'm not used to the idea that even this part right here in a produced setting would get cut out.
Yeah. We cut nothing. I'm gonna pitch it to you, and then you tell me, and then I'm gonna bring it in.
Tell you what.
I'm gonna ask you, what is Soulforge Fusion?
And I thought you said you were gonna pitch it to me.
I did. That's me pitching it.
I can tell you what Soulforge Fusion is.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Zach. Give me the elevator pitch. What is Soulforge Fusion for those that don't know?
Soulforge Fusion is a hybrid deck game.
What does that
mean?
Which
means, if you're familiar with Keyforge, it's a good example, but each deck of cards is completely unique. So there's no two decks that are exactly the same. Comes with a Forgeborn, which is kind of like the character, and then 30 cards, 10 unique cards in 3 different stages. So
10 bronze, 10 silver, 10 gold.
that's right. And you basically take part of what the fusion element of Soulforge Fusion is. You take 2 of these decks,
These unique decks.
and they fuse together into a single deck. And you basically, to start the game, you're going to take 2 of the bronze, or all your bronze cards, and shuffle them together. That's what you start with. And so you get the elements of a unique deck game where you don't have deck building, but they give you one choice, which is which 2 decks to pair. And so from a macro standpoint, I think that's the most appealing piece. If you like card games, but you don't have the time to do very nuanced deck building and deck testing, you want to get to the table faster, you just want to kind of be able to mix and match, almost like Smash Up, the board game, if you're familiar with that.
And the unique deck game is ultimately meant to solve, it was the old Richard Garfield, this is what Magic was supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be diverse and interesting games rather than somebody figures out the perfect combo and then everybody can buy those cards and build the same deck.
Yep.
So it prevents that from happening.
Yeah, so you get a lot more variety in what you can see and what your opponent is going to bring to the table, whereas in a game like Flesh and Blood, the best things kind of rise to the top, and then you see a lot of that.
As the Macho Man always said.
More zoomed in, I think mechanically, the system is one of the best. I'm fascinated by the game system.
I love lane-based card games.
Yeah, it's a lane-based card game.
Love it. 5 lanes.
All of the tension and the thought goes into choosing the best cards to play and deciding, do I play for now or later? Mm-hmm. And very few games capture it like that. You don't have a lot of the both nuance and complexity of timing windows and instants and all that kind of
reaction
stuff.
speed.
So I'd say 95% of your brain power during a game is going to strategy, not tactics. Like, it's not how I execute the turn, it is some, but it's mostly strategic decision making. And then 4% timing and tactics and 1% mechanically operating the game.
So the game, it automatically has the 5 lanes, so you place a creature in lanes, and then creatures in opposing lanes at the end of the turn are automatically going to fight, and that all resolves simultaneously. You've got a hand of 5 cards, and you play 2, and then the 3 get discarded. So you've got 2 choices to make on your turn, and then if you play a card, you immediately get a leveled up silver version of that card and put it into your discard pile so that the next go through the deck, you actually get stronger versions of the creatures you've already played. And then it goes up to gold, and then they go out of the game. So it's like a deck builder. The board gamers took our game terms from us, or maybe started them. I don't know. It may have been original. But you're crafting the next run through your deck as you're playing the game. So then the next cycle is stronger. The next cycle is stronger, which you have a lot of agency over.
That's where that tension comes from, which is, if you're familiar with your decks, a lot of times you know the end game state that you want. And so the cards that you're choosing to play should be both checking some on the board tactical need, but you're also strategically deciding what cards to upgrade, because you eventually know those are going to be the powerful cards you get to play at the end of the game. Yeah. And the gold version, the 3rd level of these cards, is usually the ones that can kind of end the game. And once you get to that point, and if the right combination of cards are happening, it's even more powerful. But it's a very thoughtful design. So you actually have the hand of cards of 5, play 2, discard, shuffle 3 times in a cycle. And after 3, then you shuffle your discard pile and the last 5 cards of your deck together. And so you don't always see every card.
Yeah, it's so good, right?
So you also have to be playing in such a way that you can't count on... You may get to gold and never see the card. Or you may literally go through a whole game and there's one card at bronze you never even see. So you can't upgrade it. So your strategy can't be so reliant on a single individual card. Across the board, the more you dive in, that's another thing I love about this game. It's very simple to learn and very simple to play. And so you can play it with people that aren't super experienced with card games and have fun. But the layers that peel back as you learn the game, I still haven't found the bottom. I'm not
really
even close.
Awesome.
Not even anywhere close.
That your bottom 5 not getting drawn is one of those weird genius things on the design side. It's like the Arsenal in Fab. where it's just a tiny little tweak and it revolutionizes how good that game is ultimately. And one of I think my favorite, you've probably been in this situation too, one of my favorite things is you have certainly decks and just player styles where you can go early game aggression, rush, and try to get your opponent on their back foot. And what that a lot of times does is it creates this tension point where I've got a card in my hand that I want to upgrade for my late game, but I've got 2 really strong creatures that my opponent is hitting me with early game. So I want to try to stop the bleeding now.
Yep.
But if I do that, I won't be able to play this thing I want to upgrade. I've got to wait until the entirely next cycle and probably never see that card upgraded in my deck. Or do I want to just take the beats now and upgrade this, hoping that I can get to the end game later? And that is probably the central tension of all card games.
Yeah.
And it's so visceral here in this one, and easy to appreciate.
Yeah.
So I think that's Soulforge Fusion. We did it.
Can you give me like the lore and kind of
The lore.
what's going on?
Oh man, I don't know anything about the lore. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never cared about the lore of card games. Not once in my life have I ever really cared.
What about spoils?
No. You think I play spoils because Laridia? No, I don't care. I played spoils because you could put a card from your hand face down as a resource and you could pay 3 to draw a card.
I mean, I
That
think
game is genius.
the lore, there is lore going on. They have storyline events and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the lore, to me, like same with spoils, I think as
It's good texture.
as a texture and as like informational, but almost it just depends on the story and stuff. Play Star Wars card game. There's tons of lore in Star Wars, but it's just enough of an understand. There's 4 different colors and 4 different factions that kind of have different things going on. But yeah, from a lore standpoint, I know there's a forge that's controlled by a faction, but don't know ultimately that much. You do have a main character, a Forgeborn, and the main character comes with abilities that you can use. So you don't, on the first time through your deck, you don't have any, but then there are different layers, like a Korok here. That 2 symbol next to the Flame Strike is on the second cycle through the deck, you can use that ability. And that is really critical to the game. So each color and each character has a very unique approach. And when you bring those 2 decks together, each deck has a Forgeborn, so you get to pick which one you're playing, which is another choice as a player that you get to make compared to like a standard, I guess, Keyforge, the only unique deck game.
Yep. The Keyforge, another one. No, lore has never really done it for me. Although I don't think it's bad. I think it's quite good. I think all of these games have really good. You know it when it doesn't have it, but it doesn't draw me to the game. So that Soulforge Fusion, lore. What is it? We did it.
Lore, what is it good for?
Lore, absolutely no.
All right.
I guess that was kind of my take, honestly.
Teaching a friend Soulforge Fusion. So I'm going to need to go find a friend real quick.
Oh.
Same stream,
Yikes.
same zingers. Just a little different.
Same stream, same zing.
Kato saying, I feel like you maybe cared about the lore in Earthborn Rangers.
That's true.
What
That's a
about Arkham
game
Horror?
about the lore, though. That game is about the experience of that game.
So I think there are games where the lore informs the mechanics. Even Arkham Horror, the lore is informing functionally what's going on.
Yeah. You pay attention more.
In SolForge, I mean, you have 2 Forgeborn that are fighting. And that's
Could be
really
anything.
what you need to know.
It could be Ryu and Ken if you wanted it to be. It could be, it could be, put in the Fab universe, and you can have your heroes instead. And there's nothing fundamentally about the Forge and the Forgeborn and stuff that informs the design of that game.
Yeah. Now,
It's putting creatures into lanes and trying to make good decisions.
I could be slowly, and this is the game.
There's Rafe in the chat there. Look at that.
You called. I could be onboarded to care
Yeah.
over time. Like, I don't know how the story of thing is going to work at FuseFest, but the idea of whatever's happening at the tournament affecting the lore of the story and like future cards is interesting.
Did you guys know? Did we tell you? I think I sent the email this morning. Your unique forge at FuseFest has a QR code.
I heard those are popular these days. Everywhere I went last year, replaced menus with QR codes. Do you think that'll stick? Just a little sidebar. It's the best use of QR codes
what?
I've seen so far.
I have a take on this for sure. I think the restaurants want it to stick. I think the people will eventually demand to have menus because we like the experience of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my phone out and scan a menu.
There was what's the name of this? speakeasy that I went to last
This
year.
is cool from Ben also. They are doing this, and I've read some of these. They're attaching short stories to winning decks. So if your deck wins an event, they write a short story that is the story of that deck based on the creatures and the Forgeborn in it,
Really?
which is really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
They're, I'm not saying that. Don't discount the lore.
Hey, you said lore is nothing to you. Dead to you.
Well, but that's true.
Kylo
Lore is dead to me, but that doesn't mean lore is bad or worthless or whatever. There's a lot of people who love and experience games only because of the lore.
But like the Fab
It's
Lore
just not
book
me.
is a good example of like it was enough background that I could visualize the world, but it wasn't so much story that I'm not looking for Keyforge fiction. Those books exist, but it's like
that Keyforge role-playing game is very confusing to me. Like if I told you, Zach, do you want to play the Keyforge role-playing game? Your first question would be, what in the world would that even mean?
yeah, I don't think so. No.
Your second response would be, no, I don't think so.
That's a no for me, dog. Shadow's saying you don't have to win to get lore attached to your deck. Just need something interesting to happen during a story event.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, you know what?
I can make something interesting
FuseFest,
happen.
we'll see if I can get bought in on that or not.
Yeah.
I went to your menu point. Last year at Pro Tour 1 for Fab in New York, I went to a speakeasy called Patent Pending. And it's in...
They got it yet?
It's in... I don't know. It's in the building that was like an office of Thomas Edison.
Uh-huh.
And that's the whole thing.
That's nice.
And you kind of go in this like underground, in the back behind a bookcase in a coffee bar that's closed at night, and it's a whole thing. But their menu was like this is the kind of thing that appeals to me. This is their menu.
Oh, it's like handwritten or
Tesla.
something?
It was a
Nikolai
Tesla.
Tesla?
Yeah. So it's handwritten, like got notes from his notebook, and then like they had I don't have it
And
here,
then drinks.
but like you open it up and
That is a fat pour. What was that you showed me?
that was the best cocktail I've ever had in my entire life,
Dude, that's like 8 ounces.
dude.
Dude, I know.
Dude, it was so good. It had been.
Is that Sazerac? What is that? No ice in there, is it?
So it's an old fashioned. But I asked the waitress, Alex, I remember because it was just such a profound experience, that I was like, I want the best drink that you guys serve. Whatever
Yeah,
that means.
that's a reasonable
And
request.
she was like, well, like, what do you normally like? I was like, well, old fashioned Sazeracs, etc.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, how do you feel about espresso? I was like, I love coffee.
Yeah.
She said, all right, I got you. She brought this to me. And it was bourbon aged in a casket.
Mm-hmm. A casket?
Not a casket.
It's
A
disgusting.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
Skeleton
place.
crew
Anyways,
indeed,
it's like
huh?
a 8-month aged, and it had like notes of espresso and cherry and walnut, and it's an old fashioned. It was like just mind-bendingly good.
Wow. Don't
But
you love
the
it when that hits?
menu was like over the top good. So it's like a little notebook, and then you'd open it and the whole patent pending vibe, and then it's like sketches of the drinks in like a sciencey like types, with notes and like hints of this flavor and this kind of thing, and like it's all about the elements and all this
Freaking
stuff.
branding, man.
But like
They
that,
knew who they were.
That kind of experience for
What's up,
me,
Ian?
Ian saying that drink was insane. Yeah, it was so good. Where it's this very physical and like effort was put in, and it's this totally just it's an experience. Very appealing to me.
Yeah.
We were talking before early in the stream about what is optimizing. And it's like, well, the easiest thing to do would be like walk in and I scan a QR code and I click an old fashioned, it shows up at my table. But that's like very cold.
Yeah.
And some people would be really into that experience.
We were into that experience for a while.
Yeah.
The idea of it, right? Like the convenience, because convenience is also high on my list of things.
Ease and convenience.
Yeah.
But ease and convenience are only relevant if they remove everything except for the thing that you want.
Yes. That's what we found.
They're not the thing. They're the thing that gets out of the way for the thing.
I think that's how we've grown. I think one of the key things that we've realized is that we want everything that isn't important to be convenient. And we want things that are important to be fully present and available.
Which is where you get to like Star Wars CCG and Middle Earth CCG.
Yeah.
I want things to be out of the way so I can fully immerse myself and experience exactly what that is.
Yeah.
And with the people that I'm with. Not make that as easy as possible to do.
Sure.
You could streamline it. At a certain point, you lose all the flavor.
Yeah, there's always a bridge in there.
You want to teach me how to play?
Yeah, let's choose a couple of decks to get them on the table, and then we'll get started.
Here's what I'll do.
You can also play a few games first if you want to warm up or something.
You warm up, you want to learn. You need to learn how to play, let me tell you.
I'm gonna hand you blue and green.
Didn't somebody get dunked on real bad the other day? Oh, you did at Nightmare Before Christmas. That was a slaughter.
As I said, I need to go find a friend.
That was a slaughter.
What's a slaughter? Age of the Atom. Related to this, what are your thoughts on using AI art in games?
Line them up.
There was a thread in the old task management system about AI. I saw that coming through.
What do you think about AI art? All right, so
I feel like I'm walking into a room with a lot of people with loaded guns.
here's a better question. If you can't tell the difference between AI art and human art until you're told it's human art or AI art, is the cat out of the bag on this?
Oh man, I was not prepared. So, I mean, you have to ask, is there fundamental value in something that is created by humans?
Yeah.
Is that important to you?
Just due to the creator, not the creation.
Right.
Right.
So, as an example, if AI was smart enough to program an app that I use, does that app inherently have less value to me because it was a robot that did it and not a human that's behind the decision?
Yeah, well, all you got to ask is, what if you didn't know?
I would obviously not. If there is no discernible difference, there's no way I would be able to tell anything. Same with art. Like if someone presented art and they're like, yeah, I painted this last night.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, like with sorcery and Miller CCG, currently at least, there's a physical presence to physical art that hits different in my brain.
Yes. Yes.
And it's similar when you have like something tangible in front of you versus you're looking at a screen. Like I think subconsciously your brain can tell. But I saw an ad the other day for a service that will do handwritten notes for you. And it's like a robot that will literally use a pen to write a note.
We've arrived, haven't we?
And it's like, well, if I receive that in the mail, I still might be able to tell because it's a little too clean.
Yeah.
The Z's all look exactly the
But
same.
eventually, we can all appreciate it will not be that way.
You
forever.
can literally program it to feel more real, which is like, like don't do the Z's exactly the same every time. You have a little, like the KeyForge is like, it's, as an example, an LCG pack that's designed by people, and here the cards that go in it are designed by a person. Or you have SolForge Fusion is maybe even better because beyond the fusion of the decks, the cards themselves are fused, which is you have two different keywords on a card sometimes, and it's like, brambling? Is that what it is?
Rambling? Rambler?
Rambler. No.
Rambling? Shambling.
Shambling.
It's shambling.
So shamble is a keyword, and you can be a shambler or shambling. Shambler being the second word, a shambling being the first. And they have a similar ability. And then you have like Rex, right? It's like a unit that has so shambling Rex could be a thing that exists. Shambling Drake is a good example. So it can algorithmically pair these things and create this card. So this, was this card designed by a human? It's like, well, the keyword shambling was, and the keyword Drake was.
You create the tools.
And then the art was presumably made, currently at least, by a human. But like, does it matter that, as compared to, a Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, someone literally created this card, designed the abilities to be thematically what it is, and put it into this pack? Right. Is there a fundamental difference between that pack and a deck of SolForge?
Right.
And I think if you can hypothetically get to a point where technology can do whatever better, or what is better? Is it more like a human, or is it past that as well?
Yeah, and people, I mean, like good comments come in, like Kato was saying, AI art is created by humans. It only exists because human-made artwork was fed to a program to remix it, and also humans created the algorithms, right? Humans made the stuff that makes the stuff. So how far removed do you have to be from the human? And again,
because you could eventually make a thing that makes things that make things.
Yeah, and we're saying we're assuming that there's some value to humans being at the beginning of that chain. But I mean, one would argue there's a great many things not created by humans that we find a great amount of value in.
Yeah, well, and that's where, like, go back to my patent pending example. The menu was printed by a machine, first off. Right. Someone did not hand make that menu. Someone designed it digitally, and then they printed it, right? But when I think about it really just depends on what you as a person are after. But the experience of sitting down, having a person who I said, hey, what's the best drink that you make? That's what I want. And we have an interaction. She asks questions. She brings a drink. She explains it to me. I have it. Hypothetically, that same drink could have been made by a robot.
And what if she was a robot as well?
It could have been.
A robot.
And at some point, we might have robots that are imperceivable to be anything but human.
That's the Blade Runner situation.
Yeah, which is another quandary. But
Yeah.
personally, as an example, I like coffee. So if I could go into a coffee shop and have a human make me an imperfect cup of coffee or espresso, or I could have a robot make me a perfect cup
Every time.
every time, I think I would choose the human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a great answer for why, other than there's an element of like, I'm here and you have this craft of something you're pursuing as another human being, and I'm experiencing that, and we're sharing in this moment. It's this experience. But at the same time, if we could buy a machine that went in our office that could make the perfect Americano, maybe I would buy it.
It goes back to this romance thing that we talk about a lot. There's absolutely no romance in that.
Yeah.
In fact, it makes me not even want it.
Yeah, there's like Keurig machines, or there's like...
Those are awful. Just strictly. But
Pokey Phantom just got here. I'm completely lost.
Isn't that interesting though? Because it's like I don't even want that.
These streams are the most insane thing on the planet. I don't even know how we got here, why we're here, but
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang a piece of art in my house that's AI generated.
But why?
I don't know. I can be comfortable not knowing. Actually,
I will say
there's a story to it.
You put value to a creation from another human. I do respect a robot that could do art. Like
Robots never have my respect.
Well, like I respect the human achievement to create that robot, right?
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Like watching the Boston Dynamics robots like get up and like
well,
on their way to killing us.
But like the chat whatever app where you can write me 5 tweets about Flesh and Blood TCG and it like spins out tweets or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing that someone made, but even there was some technology that like you can essentially have an AI looking human robot thing in a video. It's like you didn't even know if it's a real person.
Yeah.
And you have this ability to like, there was a video of I think Tom Cruise that someone did, and it wasn't even Tom Cruise, but I couldn't tell it wasn't Tom Cruise.
We're about into it. It's about to get real.
Yeah,
in terms of you can't trust anything you see.
For me, my preference, and you were saying like on the QR codes menu, that's how we got there. There's no romance to it, and I think it'll be the same with the remote work. I think the rebound back will be mid-grounds. There's some places that will keep QR codes, and the people that don't mind that and want that, I think it'll be totally fine. It's an efficient way to do menus.
Yeah. And
there are places like Patent Pending that I don't think would ever do a QR code. Like, it's just is anathema to their vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be people that like both, and that's fine.
I wish I could get a better definition around this kind of romance concept. But like I actually envision, 20 years from now, again, that's way too short, 50, 100 years from now. Like, I think people will get together just to be imperfect. Like everything surrounding you is going to be so fake. Like, the perfect espresso has an element of fakeness to it.
Yeah, because it's not...
Because it can't possibly be anything but perfect, right? Yeah. So when you remove the spectrum of availability, there is no such thing as good or bad. It's just robot espresso. Whereas Chris down at Nord's a few years ago could make me an awesome espresso or a bad espresso. Yeah. And that's kind of the whole experience you have, right? Is like there is variability in outcomes, and there kind of has to be. Maybe that's a fundamental human desire, is that it's not you're not just shot down a water slide and then you die.
Well, I think it kind of comes back to the ease/peace.
Is that an option?
Is that an option?
So, I guess that is weird.
If you make everything so easy and convenient that it loses all the flavor we were talking about earlier. Like the pursuit and the discovery is, I think, directly connected to the human experience. So if everything is just automatic and done, and it's like at some point, what is the point of any of it? And that's where I kind of get back to, I think part of that underlying drive of needing to do something with my opportunity at this, my opportunity existence, is related to understanding the value of the human experience, and part of that experience is reliant on other humans. It's a lot like tabletop games, honestly, and they're very directly connected. But a tabletop game, that you can play solo or you can play on a digital app, is not a bad experience. I think that's a good thing to have in the world. But I find a lot of meaning when you get to experience it with other people. And so I think life is very similar in that if all we're doing is going around ordering coffees from robots and getting food from robots and looking at a screen to type in a thing to get robots to do things, we sort of jump the shark.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to like just be okay with the fact that could be happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that we actually have no mechanism to say that you're not a robot. It's the classic philosophical problem. So if and when that does happen, assuming it hasn't already, and I'm the only human being on this planet.
What planet? You mean the simulation?
Error. It will be indistinguishable from now.
Yeah.
So then it does become a matter of, like, I think about it, maybe an easier way to think about this is in a world where you can create perfectly realistic meat, are there going to be people who want to know that it came from a real cow?
I mean, in some ways, there's probably advantages in not. You can make a
100%.
meat that is exactly like a steak, except for it has none of the downsides.
So if you're at a restaurant, if you're at a steakhouse, and they have real cow meat and they have fake meat, and they taste identical, you cannot tell the difference. Yeah. It's a psychological distinction that you're making to choose one or the other.
I mean, I think as people and as the human race, we have to decide, what is it okay? What do we want to be synthetic / robot, and what do we require to not be? And that list might be very short.
We can't, though. We can't make decisions as a human race. That's not ever how it works. Everything is going to be done this way.
Well, it is indirectly through the invisible hand, right? Like, like as an example, it reminds me of the recent increase in vinyl reality. Is as digital as everything is and as convenient as iTunes made it, and that was a whole revolution. I think it changed the music industry, but there's still this innate desire. It's my fundamental belief, right? It's the whole covenant thing. It's like there is inherent value in experiencing real things with people together. And that could be wrong. And it may be that technology gets so good that I can't tell the difference.
Right.
At which point I just plug into the VR universe and like...
You may as well.
But if,
Or you become the Edward Wong type in Netrunner and you kill the robots.
I mean, there is that. But the reality of it... They're either
that deadpan to the... They're watching us now, aren't
they? If
they?
you're the robots out there, just know I'm not necessarily
We're coming
after
for you.
No
one will be left.
At the bottom of the funnel, there either is inherent value in the non-digital or the non-synthetic, or there isn't. And if there's not, then eventually we will be in a space where you plug in and you're just in the VR universe that's better and can be whatever you want it to be. And maybe that's the future of human existence.
I think that's the key that we're butting up against, is like being whatever we want it to be maybe is not as good as it being what it would be.
What it is.
Yeah. The isness of reality, Bill Clinton philosophy.
Well, it depends on what your definition of it is. But really, I mean, I think that's somewhere I read a long time ago that like when you're writing, to make it feel real, it has to be a little bizarre. Like things that happen or characteristics of people, if it's too clean, it feels fake. Like if a character has no viewpoints that conflict, as you're writing a character, it's like, oh, this person believes in individual freedoms and this, that, and the other. Everything's perfect. It's like no one's like that.
Yeah, there's always discrepancies.
And it's the same thing when you're looking at a screen right now, at least. I think underneath you can kind of feel that it's not real. Like when I'm watching us up there, when I see you on that screen versus when I look at you here, Now, it's possible that it gets good enough that I can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
And like, at that point, is there actual underlying fundamental value in the real thing
Yeah.
or not?
I think I'll at least hold on to the myth that there is.
Yeah. And
I can choose.
I think we'll be gone before it matters.
Yeah.
So,
And
that's
also,
for
I mean,
future generations
I mean,
watching
in the
this.
grand scheme of things, God or the Big Bang or whatever created the world, and then that created nature, the natural world, the way that we think things are, reality, if you will. And that reality created human beings, and those human beings created AI, and those AI things created. So, is this not natural, the same as anything else? I mean, is humans creating AI is the same as a tree growing from the ground, right? It's like, did we have any option? I mean, this is the natural progression of things. Brains do this, and then they make these robots, and then whatever happens next.
Well, and my brain is we're in a weird spot. We got to a weird place. We made it. 2023. Here we are. My question would be, science seems to think that our galaxy will
Science, you're out there.
end in imminent heat death regardless.
Oh, certainly it will.
So even if we VR and plug in and stuff, it's like, well, if we don't find a way off this planet and into other galaxies, eventually, in billions of years, it won't matter anyway. It'll all go away. Right. But
at least this version of it.
My question for you, now that we're here on a Wednesday, is
on a Wednesday,
if it were actually undiscernible between VR and reality, let's say you can plug in, have a food tube that you don't need to do anything, just do your thing. Yeah. Do you think there's inherent value comparably if I can plug into VR and explore whatever I want and whatever other people have created, whatever I've decided to create in this space and do my thing? Compared to, as an example, like an idea that's very appealing to me, even though I don't think I'll live to see it, is there's untold planets and galaxies in the universe. Mm-hmm. And so the idea that we can explore reality is out there. To me, there's inherent value in exploring what's actually out there.
Because it feels more real. You're saying it's actually out there, right? So it's more real than
something someone created that I get to go explore in this digital universe. Even if I in this VR, I could go in space and explore planets.
Yeah. And what if even it was created in a way by AI that humans weren't actively saying, put that planet there, but that it was as random as the sprinkling of planets in the universe.
But there's an element underlying all of that is the AI might create things human would never think of, or humans might create things that I would never think of. But the universe seemingly has a way of making things that wouldn't have otherwise existed, right? And maybe that's not true. Maybe robots can eventually explore all possibilities, and but one thing I know is that there are galaxies out there right now that exist in the meat space that have just exist.
I guess the question would be, can AI do a better job than whatever cosmic actor or event?
And for me, under all of that is like, it's more appealing to go find what's actually out there than to invent things to go find that are invented out there, if that makes sense.
I wonder if like theism becomes like a really like a
Todd. So Soulforge is a card game mixing reality and robots. Got it.
It's like a break from like a good AI. Like, man, that would be a good split. Anyway, yeah, it's tough, huh? I'm just gonna keep on, man.
I think
just appreciate existence itself.
Going Eastern on it. Be
and some Western.
Where you're at. Experience that.
My book, be as you are where you are now.
Yeah, forever.
Sometimes I've always been where I was, and I am where I will be.
Yeah, I've never been where I'm not. Sometimes I
We've got 1,000 of these. It's a whole series. Yeah. Just read the title and buy the next one.
You know what? Actually, I think I figured out what our Twitter feed should be. A feed of these.
Just constant, like...
Listic saying AI theism.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? Yeah. That will happen. That will happen.
Perhaps it has. All right, I'm gonna pick 2 decks. Let's get back.
Just randomly? You're picking purple and red.
Red and purple, dude.
Because you're
I'm picking one of these decks because it was already sleeved.
Undoable.
Just convenience.
Let's
there goes
do
the
these
romance.
They were unsleeved or they are sleeved?
One of them was sleeved. That's
Well,
why
that's
I'm
going to be
picking
a
it.
great one, though, because we sleeve the good ones.
Oh, that's not true.
All right,
I had a
I'll
bunch of
teach you the
sleeved
game
decks.
and you can dunk on me. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this guy.
The Raging Spectre.
Raging Spectre? Dude. Aggressive stealth. That's a great keyword. Yeah. He's aggressively invisible. You can't see me. Where is she?
I'm telling you how much you can't see me.
Okay. I need some sleeves.
Age Vat, I'm sorry for derailing the stream. That's part of the beauty of the streams and part of the beauty of editing.
There's no rail to rail. No rail to derail.
For people that were here, they experienced something.
And no one else will ever see it.
I mean, do you think AI could ever generate that experience?
Maybe it just did. That's what I'm saying. Yes, it absolutely could. You've seen those AI like chatbots talk to each other?
I have. It's really terrifying.
It definitely goes places.
Yeah.
And
There's things I choose not to acknowledge. You know.
I saw this in the stream. It's awesome. There are like AI bots right now that are answering the phone. You don't even know. You probably talked to one. You have no idea.
And if I can't tell the difference, man.
I certainly know when it's a human. I can tell you that. I know that. Man, these cards are awesome. I've never seen these. Look at this. Steadfast Captain. That's the kind of card I would love.
Yeah, 100%.
10-14, give other warriors +6/+6. That is a big deal.
Shadow is saying, what if we had VODs where the only conversations you have are philosophical? I'd be down. Well, I don't know. I don't feel qualified.
Yeah, like to do that, we'd have... I
have to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I really do think that. I think that we would... Once you present yourself as some kind of an authority on anything, like we're not that. We're just people like finding our way. Maybe we could call it that. People finding their way. Dude, this deck is awesome.
Dysphoria is saying, I'm glad you're excited and happy about it. Dysphoria is saying, I'm imagining Bryce and Jonathan on the floor throughout all this. We just asked you guys to give an elevator pitch.
Actually, we're making a lot of comments over there. A lot of whispering. I heard the whispering going on.
Blue saying, by the way, what era has ended? Well, Taylor Swift released a new album. Just kidding. The pandemic era for us, streaming 4 or 5 days a week. We're going to stream 1 day a week on Wednesday. A lot of changes come into the content. Going to be taking this footage and clipping it up into videos we edit and produce. And this is kind of the start of the exploration process.
And honestly, we're just kind of getting started on that, so it might be a while before we get that moving.
Oh, you know what? The stream title is still The End of an Era.
Oh, no way. Of course. That's why people keep asking. Can you change that, Bryce?
I did.
The Boozle.
He might need a refresh.
Yeah,
if
it's
he's
not
gonna watch
online.
this
Did you change it recently?
Yeah, I was on.
I wonder if it.
Cyanide, this is a question asked earlier I wanted to answer, saying, will you guys keep the long version on YouTube for viewing too? Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Or he's on Twitch, it's the same.
For the long-term folks, you guys can enjoy the streams as you've always known them.
Yeah, so...
All right, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to choose a different deck.
These will continue existing.
I need a deck with warriors in it, okay? Because I'm going to build around that steadfast guy.
What's that? Oh, you're looking for one with warriors?
Yeah, these gods all have dinosaurs and stuff. Here's a plant warrior. That's cool.
How many warriors is enough warriors?
2 to 3. Here's warriors.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a oneer.
No. There's a oneer.
Cyanide saying, I see the title, first stream of 2023, talking Soulforge and FuseFest.
Yeah, we when we first went up, it's probably on
You done with all
Twitch,
these?
right? Yeah, done.
I'll stack them deep, sell them cheap.
Thank you, Zach, for that. You watched Better Call Saul yet?
I mean, no, but can you imagine getting this experience from a robot? It wouldn't happen, man. We're years away.
I'd pay that robot millions of dollars.
Like, it's this whole
I'd
stream.
smash that like button for that robot right there.
This whole stream is bizarre enough to be real. That was my point earlier. It's like
robots would never think to do this.
I think that's part of the coldness of produced videos in general from a lot of content creators is, even though it is humans doing it currently at least, there's a coldness to the scripted nature and the format, and that's just not my vibe, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think there's something missing there. Something missing.
Oxford Door saying, me right here thinking I'm only 8 minutes late.
It's been a journey, Xeridor. It's been a journey.
All right, let me look at my.
Okay, hold on. This is all learning to play stuff. So get your stacks, get your stacks, get your
I'll
stacks.
act like I didn't shuffle these together. Right?
Should we get the playmat or no? We want to think about. We want to do 5 lanes. We'll use our dice.
Yeah, I think we don't know. Look at these.
We'll make it nice and organic. Nice and organic.
Thank you, Serena. I know you're never going to watch this or listen.
Why did he call Steven Serena?
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's my wife's name. She brought the dice all the way from Jenks.
All the way from Jenks.
Jenks. I say it with an A.
All right, you ready to do this thing?
Sure. Take me on a journey.
All right, everybody. We're going to learn Soulforge Fusion today. We're going to try to keep it brief because the game is easily kept brief, even though it has a tremendous amount of depth. So I'm going to go to the top down. What we've got here is 2 fully unique decks. I've chosen 2. Zach, you've chosen 2, right? You got 2 decks over there?
I've got 2, yep.
So we took 2 different colors, different factions, and we shuffled them together. And that's what we've done here. So we've got our 2 decks. We haven't shuffled them together, but we've got our 2 decks.
Okay.
So the first thing that we do whenever we play, we're going to take the bronze cards.
And can we pull up a 3B?
And pull up a 3B.
Every card comes in 3 different versions. Level 1, 2, and 3, bronze, silver, and gold. So you take all the bronze cards, which is the one on the far left here, and shuffle those together. And that's your starting deck.
Yeah, and so what you need to know about a unique deck is there are 10 cards in 3 different versions, bronze, silver, and gold.
For each deck that you bring.
Yeah.
And you bring 2.
And so what that means is that basically you get 10 creatures or 10 spells and some combination of the 2. And then as you play them, you level up to the bigger version, and then you shuffle through the deck again, and then you get to see the better versions of those cards. So it's kind of like deck builder in that way, in that as you play cards, the cards that you play will get stronger versions added to the deck, and then you'll get to play those stronger versions later, and they'll get even stronger. And on we go. So we're going to shuffle up our bronze cards. You can keep your other cards in a stack off to the side. I do it, I'm actually going to do it your way this time because I'm convinced that this is the way to do it.
So I basically have a red and a purple deck.
That's right.
And so I've got the silver and gold red cards in their own stack, and then the silver and gold purple cards in their own stack.
And I'll show you a different way to do it just because. You can also take your silver cards, put them all in a stack off to the side, and you can take all your gold cards and put them off to the side. Just have those waiting on you. Those are not in the game. You don't need to worry about them.
And I'm going to grab a Forge card, and there's going to be a sound that comes from my deck box because it's Velcro.
Okay.
So buyer beware for editing purposes.
There's going to be a sound. There's going to be a sound. Man, we're zoomed out. We're zoomed out to the moon on this. Look at that.
Were we streaming something that we needed to zoom out for last time?
We got a bird's eye, probably crokinole.
Yeah, there it is.
We were definitely streaming crokinole last.
Swooshed.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we've got our bronze cards shuffled together. We're going to choose a Forgeborn. So each of these has different abilities. That's really the only thing that matters here. The faction of the Forgeborn doesn't matter. If you have an idea, once you get your kind of experience going, you can look through your deck and kind of figure out what you're trying to do. Otherwise, you can just choose one at random. It'll pretty much always work. And I'm gonna look at my abilities here.
So I'm playing Korok from the deck Champions of Brimstone and Hound.
Cool. So this one is a very armory one, and this one is like...
There he is.
I'm gonna choose Oros. Oros, this is gonna be Champs of Hag and Depth. A classic title. Okay, so I've got my bronze cards. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle those up. And then I'm gonna draw 5 cards. Thanks. Let's roll off to see who goes first. Evens, odds. Evens, that's even Steven. I'll go first, which means the forge is active for me. So it'll stay right here. And I'm gonna zoom us in just a little bit. And then you draw your 5 cards. Got 5?
I do have 5.
Let's go on a journey together.
I'm very excited about the 5 that I drew.
Do you have one of those good decks?
I only have good decks.
I know. That's kind of the frustrating part of it.
I have no idea.
Now what we're going to do, so this is a lane-based game. So we're going to have 5 lanes that we're going to do battle in. Oh man, I just about nailed this thing.
Swooshed it, dude.
Dude, swoosherton.
That's maybe your best move of 2023.
That's high bar. So I'm gonna just go and mark these lane locations with some dice here. That's an easy way to do it. There's also play mats that have lanes. You know how lanes work.
Can I just do this first?
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Then I can
Actually,
refer to it.
oh
as
man, that's so
a numbered
smart.
lane.
That's the smartest thing you've done in 2023.
Man, we're just knocking them down, dude. All strikes, no gutters.
no.
Oh no, there's a gutter. We did it.
Yeah, I'll set it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. 5 cards. Now I'm going first. So here's the way the game works. I'm gonna put my my deck right here. For the first cycle through the deck, so this is gonna be 3 hands of cards. 3 hands?
So we have a hand of 5.
Right, 3, 5, and then there's the 5 that we don't touch, and then we reshuffle.
Right. Yeah. So walk me through the first 5.
So we're gonna go do basically 3 turns, 3 rounds of this, I think is what it's called. And then we're gonna shuffle our decks again and do 3 more rounds, shuffle again, do 3 more rounds. So your Forge board doesn't do anything on the first round. The first cycle. The second cycle, you get an ability. You see it on, like, if you pull up Oros, like the Oros of Hag in Depth has a level 2 ability, Shapeshift. That has a feature there, has a level 3 growth aura and level 4 bark skin. So these refer to number of cycles through your deck, is what that refers to. So the first time through, we don't need to worry about our Forge board at all. We just need to worry about the cards in our hand.
Okay.
And we get to play 2 of these cards every turn. Yeah. So I'll play 1, you'll play 1, I'll play 1, you'll play 1. And then we'll resolve all the lanes and anything that needs resolving. And then we'll discard anything that we didn't play. We'll draw 5 fresh cards and we'll do it again.
Okay. And you will go first because you have the active Forge card.
I've got the active Forge card, that's right.
Mine is here, black and white.
Now this is a game about creatures. It's really about creature v creature combat. There are attack values and defense values on cards. And what we're trying to do is strategically maneuver our cards in such a way that our health values go from 50 to 0. So I'm gonna give you a little board there.
Oh, yep.
Some of our majestic boards here from the Flesh and Blood trading card game, or at least compatible therein.
Thereof.
Not officially endorsed by, but usable and
legally distinct.
Anything that has numbers to track, you can sure track them with this thing. So I'm gonna do 5s because I like tidiness.
I'm gonna do 6s because I like efficiency.
Chaos. Efficiency, right.
Sir?
How many 5s do you get in these slots? How many units is that?
40.
Quick, nice.
So you'll need 2 5s on top if you want to.
You have a bright future in finance.
Well,
5 and
luckily
5.
the robots do most of that.
5 and 5. All right, so we got 50 health here.
What up, Andrew?
And so at the end of the 2 plays a piece, we're going to resolve. Anything that is opposite each other generally is going to fight, and it'll block all the damage. So putting things in front of other things is a way to prevent damage to yourself. Anything that is unopposed is going to go right through and send its attack value right to the face. And oh man. Okay. It's fine.
So you're choosing 1 card to play as your single action.
Yes, and it's the greatest decision in baseball. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to put a Torg My Guardian.
Okay.
In lane number 4 right here, because I don't know of a better lane to put it.
Numbering these lanes, I'm going to actually center this.
I like that a lot.
Numbering these lanes is actually like revolutionary.
Now, when I play a creature, a couple of things happens. 1, because I have the active Forge, I'm the first player, the active player, it comes into the front of the lane. Zax will come in to the back because he is the inactive Forge.
I will be tempted constantly to play them to the front lane.
The second thing we do is we go through our pile of cards that need to level up. I find my Torg My Guardian level 2, and I'm going to put that in my discard pile. So that's going to come with me on the next shuffle through the deck.
And this is the Plant Warrior. That's cool.
What's up, Andrew Cartwright? Good to see you, man.
Now, are you a put the D10 on immediately cat?
I typically am, but you know, I'm just gonna let you start taking your turn, and then I'll think about if I want to do that. And I do. Yeah, I do want to do it. I got these D10s here. I really like tracking the health values like this, so they're easy for everybody to see on camera and on the board. And if there's changes, these changes to the attack and defense, they are forever. So you have to track them over time. It's not just singular effects.
Okay. As my action, I'm going to play a Sparking Omni. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the level 2 version of this and put it in my discard pile.
Throwing it in the back row there.
Yeah, so ready this when you play a Lightning Spark. So it also has an activate ability. So this is a good rule to learn. I'm going to use the activate ability. Do you have the... I can use these. I'm going to use the activate ability and mark it with this token.
Okay.
And it says deal 2 damage to anything.
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 Even me.
Even you.
Right to me.
So I'm actually going to do 2 damage to your guardian here.
Okay.
Then hypothetically, once you've activated, this unit is no longer, or this creature is no longer ready. So if I play a lightning spark card, it would ready and remove this, and I could activate again.
That's
pretty
sick.
powerful.
That's pretty sick, man. Okay, so what you're telling me is... Okay. Then for my next trick, I'm going to go ahead and play a Camouflage Hunter on lane 2. It's stealth, so any back row things won't block it. And then I can deploy it and have another creature battle its opposing creature, which doesn't matter here. But you'll notice I played 2 Warriors deck. And that is because I know that I've got some cards in this deck that have a lot of good synergy with Warriors. So this is one of the great things about this game, is that I'm actually playing right now towards a later game state where my Warriors are wrecking the board. And so right now I can't even use their abilities very well, but I just want to get them in my deck at level 2 so that I can have them later on.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, as my second action, I'm going to play an ossuary mech. So when it's destroyed, I get to upgrade a level 1 card in my discard pile.
That's a good trade for you.
As you can imagine, in my hand, I have a level 1 card that I would like to upgrade but not play.
Good
Actually, you
stuff.
know what? They'll destroy each other immediately, right? Before this is discarded?
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. Because I want it in my discard pile.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's got to be your discard pile on that.
I'll
for
play
me.
it here.
Cool.
And I will get that level 2 ossuary mech. In my head, it would be in my discard pile immediately.
That's
and it's
pretty
like,
sweet.
perfect.
Do you want to do something else?
No, that's
instead?
great.
Is that okay?
I still want to do that.
Okay, so we've both taken 2 actions. You see how easy that was? We played our 2 cards. Now here's the cool thing. There's no reactions, at least not yet. There's no instant speed, anything. All we do is we put our cards down and we resolve combat. We can start from right to left, left to right. It's all simultaneous. So 5 damage is unopposed from the front lane, so you take 5. Okay. 1 damage, but it's in the back lane, so it doesn't attack. So nothing happens there. 5 to the front, right to the face there, and then 4 again from the back lane, doesn't matter. Then we move back lane forward. So Zach, you can move your stuff up. So now they will start doing damage to me. And I'll flip the Forge to passive on me. You're active on your side.
Right.
We discard the cards we didn't play, and we draw 5 more. How easy was that?
And that's
the whole game.
The one kind of remaining thing, there's keywords and stuff that we'll cover in a minute. But what happens when you get to the next cycle, which we'll have, again, we'll take 3 of the turns we just took, and then the cycle will switch.
Okay, nice. And just to clarify, you'll probably see it here, but anything in the front row will attack the back row creature in its lane, and they will have combat. So any blocking in the lanes is always going to attack, regardless of whether you're the passive or active player. Next up.
Just thinking about my life.
I've never seen this one before.
Well, there's a lot of cards we've just never seen.
Huh. This has got some cool like mage synergy and also warrior synergy.
Let's do this.
Now note this text. When one of my creatures enters the back row, it gets +1/+1.
Nice.
Which is so awesome.
I will play a Blizzard Shaman here. Love that guy. He just looks awesome. And then I have some abilities to resolve. So I'll upgrade it. I'll put my dice on it.
So, wow, you've got all sorts of direct damage. You fool. No, don't do this.
You fool! So activate, which
That's
I will
horrible.
do. Deal 2 damage to all creatures, including my own.
All right.
So you're like, I see where
I
this is
see
going.
what's going on, yeah.
I assume he hits himself.
Yeah.
Then I will activate my Sparking Omni. Deal 2 damage to anything, and I will do 2 damage to this
That's
thing.
so good.
Yeah.
A devastation. Now, this doesn't get discarded. This gets removed from the game, basically.
Yeah. So lower level stuff that you upgraded is removed from even if you play a gold version of a card, once it leaves play, it's gone. Andrew, whoever did dice for lanes is my hero. It was a team effort. Steven used the dice and then I put them in order so we could refer to them easily, which I love. That was a live invention.
Okay. Well, I've got the last play here and I'm going to take advantage of that.
Seemed good.
How about... Fine, we'll just get that over with. This guy needs to go. But like, I don't have a way to send it, dude.
He's got to go.
Can you hand me a wisp minion?
There's a big stack right here for your perusal.
Thanks. Okay. He's got to go though, for real. We get to go to the Lonesome Valley. Okay. I'm going to play back row here, Palladium Hindermind. Coming in with a 2 and an 8. And then I'm going to go grab a Palladium Hindermind from my deck. Put it in the discard pile.
That's a cool ability.
Give a creature 3 armor. I'll do that here. And then I can move it if I have another mage in play, which I do not.
Nice.
But I don't want to move it.
All right, let's play a Rhyme Horn Charger in lane 1. So he's got 6 attack, 4 health, and I'll tell you what he does in a second. It's really nice. He says, you ready for this?
Yeah.
If a deployability, if another creature lost life this turn, give your other creatures +2 attack.
This deck is so good. That's the one that was sleeved, right? Is this the red one that was sleeved?
Yeah.
You fool. You brought a gun to a slap fight.
I don't know. I just picked the top purple deck and then it was sleeved. But I thought I lost our last game of Soulforge.
Yeah, you probably did.
You like dunked on me, actually, unceremoniously. I felt ahead and then all of a sudden I lost by a lot.
So this is my last play. The last play of the turn.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play Pax Blessing. I'm going to get the better version. And then it says I can choose one. Give a creature +3/+3, or play a Wisp and give it +3/+3, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go Wisp here in front of your Sparking Omni.
Sparkling. I like that
And
a
I'm
little
gonna go
better, actually.
5/5.
Can we get Sparkling Omni's, Shadow?
5/5.
That was right, Frank saying. In the last game, the Legendary, which is a Sparking Omni, was in the bottom 5 every cycle.
Oh, yeah, you just...
I never even
you
saw
got
it.
awesome now. Yeah, suddenly. All right, discard of cards. Resolve combat. I guess there might be anything in your hand.
So 6 damage to you.
I'll take 6
I'm
to
in
the
the front row.
face. Yeah.
You're going to do 5 to me here because you're in the front row.
Yeah.
So 4, 5. I'll deal 3 to you,
That's right.
and you'll deal 5 to me.
That's
So
right.
that will actually destroy my Sparking Omni. So that'll go here. And then my Blizzard Shaman will do 5 to you. And then I will take 2. So he will go away.
You gone.
And then
I'll take 6.
my mech will do 6 to you.
I didn't expect that to be so... It's like you don't want to destroy that guy because you get a benefit, but in the end,
Well,
there's no stopping it.
You
is
really
there?
want to defend or destroy him on the first turn next cycle.
That's right.
Yeah. So then your stuff moves out. We switch the Forge, and this is the last turn.
Last turn of this first cycle. Here we go.
He says on it.
Okay, now I've got a pretty decent little front row going on here. Good. I got my thing. Okay. This is good. You've got to go to the Lonesome Valley. Okay. And this armor drops off, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I think it said for the turn.
Yeah. Okie dokie. I know I want to play this card, but I don't know when. And yeah, I think you're just going to get a benefit here. So I'm going to play the Steadfast Captain. This is what I was building around.
Okay.
So we deploy, you give other warriors +2/+2.
Sweet.
So if I'd had the other guy out, that plant dude, he's a plant warrior. So back row stuff pumps him, and then this dude pumps him. Like, he could get pretty crazy.
That plant warrior is pretty dope.
Yeah, I think that's a That's a known quantity. And over to you.
Now, I have a question. I have a card called Flame Shaper Savant. And it says when you play a level 1 card, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. Does it count itself?
I don't think so. I don't think the text is active until it's played.
Until it's already in play?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Shadow can verify, but this is the kind of game that usually is simpler than that. That's why I like it so much.
That's the only reason.
Because I think it doesn't count itself.
Okay. Cool. All right, I will still play it. I'm second. So Flame Shaper Savant, a level 1. When I play a level 1 card, I deal damage to a creature or player. He's also a 4/3.
It's a good thing too, even if you forget, you're like, oh wait, I was supposed to have gotten my next version, you can always just go back and fix it. Okay, so let's see, you're killing me and I'm not killing you.
We like the stock.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll play.
One lane left.
Let's play an Esperian Steel Plate, and I'm going to replace a card.
Okay, so what's that mean?
So I can just override anything that's already in the lane. Now, if I was passive Forge, it would come in the back row still. So like it doesn't maintain its position, it just maintains its lane.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm going to overwrite this lane. Esperian Steel Plate, if this replaced a creature, give it +3/+3. So it's coming in as a nice 7/7.
Oof. Don't like that stock.
And I'll go get the better version of it. All right, over to you. What's up, Niels? This is Soulforge Fusion. Absolutely worth a look. You feel the tension? Things ratcheting up. I got a bit of a mid-range push happening here. But it sure sounds like your late game is going to be stronger with that sparking garbage can.
I am excited about the old late game. I'm just going to play a Lightning Spark. This is that card that would ready be on me. Deal 5 damage to a creature or player. So I'll deal 5 here.
Yeah, reasonable.
I'll trigger the Flame Shaper when I play a level 1 card, which I just did. Do a damage. We'll do a damage to this thing.
Uh-oh.
And then, I mean, you don't have to be afraid.
Okay, good.
It's just,
Thank you.
I'm queuing him up for later victory.
Thank you for that.
And then I will pass the end of turn.
All right. So I'm going to take 6 off of you there.
Yeah.
So 3, and this becomes a 2. You take 5 from my Wisp.
That's right.
I do 7, you do 4 to me, so I got a 2.
You got it.
And then I do 2 to you, you do 6 to me, we destroy each other, you upgrade a card.
Osprey Mech triggers, and I'm going to upgrade the Scorchmane Dragon,
Hey, that's reasonable.
which is the like little defender baby egg, and I'm going to upgrade to the level 2 Scorchmane Dragon,
That's so good.
which I'm excited about.
That's so good. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I'll put my health up.
So then, at the end of that turn, you discard like normal. So the card you're discarding go to your actual discard pile. And at this stage, after this is the first cycle of the game.
It's helpful to count them up.
Yeah, so you should, hypothetically, unless something weird happened, have 15 cards in your discard pile.
Yeah. And you can also usually tell it's like 3 bronze, 2 silver, 3 bronze, 2 silver, 3 bronze, 2 silver. Usually. Unless something weird happened. And it does from time
Like
to
my
time.
Scorchmane Dragon.
Yeah.
So I missed something on the turn I played.
You got to go.
I think it was the...
I'll start shuffling up. You can check your things that are out of the game pile too. Is really a good indicator usually.
Ramhorn Charger.
Nice. That's a cool little card. That looked great.
I'm a fan. I mean, if you have ways to make a creature lose damage on your turn, giving that static bump to everything all at once. So part of this Korok that I have, his level 3 ability, so this is the second cycle. The Forge will pass to me. So on the second cycle, I'll get to go first. You went first on the first cycle. I can use this Flame Strike ability. So once during those next 3 turns, I can deal 5 damage to a creature. But his level 3 ability is why we're here. which is lightning speed. Give your creatures +3, and they get aggressive. So
that means they deploy to the front row no matter what.
yeah, and if they're in the back row, they move to the front row.
Yeah.
So on that last cycle, or on the third cycle, when I'm going to be going second twice, I have this ability that lets me send everything to the front row, and I'm the last one that gets the action. So if you don't have every lane covered up, it can get really uncomfortable.
Just Bugatti it.
But yeah, so now we're on that cycle. This is basically the whole game. And you just do this until someone wins.
And we're going to. It's my favorite.
Come on, Omni. Okay. Let me read some things.
Cool. Let's take stock of where we are in the game. So you're about 10 health down, it looks like. You've got a 6-4 and a 6-2. I've got a 7-2 and a 5-2, so we're about even on the board. And you've got an extra leveled up Scorchmane Dragon, and I think you have some late game heaters coming in. My level 2 ability, give a creature +3/+3, and it has all creature types this turn. So that could be relevant for my warrior buffing abilities.
Seems good. Okay. I'm going to play a card called Soul Reap. Deal 3 damage to a creature. So I'll deal 3 damage here. Gain 3 life. So we'll gain 3 life. Then it says if you have a beast in play, deal 3 damage to a player. You. This is a beast.
What the heck?
And gain 3 life. And then I'll upgrade the Soul Reap card.
That's the level 1?
Yeah. You don't even want to know.
That's 12 value in a bronze. Where did that come from? Who told us about this?
I think it's hanging out with Cotton Eye Joe.
My goodness, where did it come from? Where did it go? That's unbelievable.
We still repped.
Okay.
You want to know what the level 3 version of that card does? Just for asking.
I have an idea of what it does.
Let's just look. 7 damage to a creature, gain 7 life. If you have a beast in play, deal 7 to a player, gain 7 life. Pretty good. Looks good too.
Okay. Wait, this guy wasn't destroyed?
He was.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
That's how I upgraded.
You upgraded the dragon. So I'm kind of ahead on the board then.
Andrew says roughly 36 instances of each person doing something. So it'd be 2, 4, 6. I think it's 24. You get 5 cycles. So 30, right? I think it's 30 total actions. Which makes sense. You have 30 cards in your deck.
Okay.
30 total unique cards per deck.
+3, -3. I don't know. I'm kind of playing for the moment here. Usually that's wrong. I'm going to play a Stout Ranger in lane 4. It seems like a fine lane. If you have no empty lanes, that's true. Wait, no, I do have empty lanes.
You're full of empty lanes.
It's a 2/8. But I need these warriors to come in, so we'll call it good.
I like your commitment to the cause, honestly.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw Stout Ranger over here because they will eventually kill each other next turn at a 2/8 pace.
It'd be a shame if something happened.
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Okay.
All right, so I want something
Stout Ranger.
that can deal with your 5 and not go away, but also present a problem to you. So let's play a level 2. Is that right?
No, it's definitely not right.
Let's play a level 2 Blizzard Shaman here.
Okay. But does he pull the trigger?
Currently, no.
Huh.
No, but he can get beat up a little first, you see, and then he can pull the trigger. It's like mutually assured destruction or something.
Uh-huh.
Although you could, deal with them. Just do 3 extra here somehow.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, yeah, where do you go here? Oh, it's so good, actually. Oh, Zach, it's so good. This is the kind of thing that you do to me all the time.
Let's have it.
It's not that good, but it is good. Toxic Spores. Give a creature +3. Give a creature -3.
I see.
I'll go ahead and do that for you there.
That's a good old-fashioned exchange for you.
We call that the old-fashioned exchange.
Yeah, that's good business. All right. End of the round?
End of the round.
All right, so I'll deal 6 to you, you'll deal 2 to me.
So I go down to 2.
I'll deal 4 to you, you'll deal 5 to me. Shaman out. Then we'll discard, we'll pass the forge, your creatures will slide up, and we'll draw our second hand.
That was a very sophisticated turn, I'll tell you.
Says the guy who made the good exchange. Woo! Dang.
Oh.
Dang. I do like this deck. I do.
All right. Well, hey, I've got something for you.
Go on.
Let's play a... Oof. All these cards are good. Let's play a Camouflage Hunter over here. Level 2. Silver. Deploy. I can have one of my creatures battle its opposing creature. We'll go ahead and get this over with.
Oh, shucks.
Before you get a chance to use that deploy or that ability. Is it a deploy ability?
Yeah, but you know, I had plans.
That's a 7/7, and I'll go to the gold version. Watch out. And it comes in at a 7/7. See, it's the perfect pace of card game.
I'm a fan.
It's just like, it's not too fast, it's not too slow. You're just chilling.
There it is.
Did you find it? You find the line? Did you thread the needle?
I found a line. Did I?
Oh, it's the great tension of the game. It's the great moment. Hey, why don't you, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Why don't you tell the people what you're thinking? Yeah. Get a little insight into the cards here.
This isn't one of those situations where you don't ever come back, is it?
No, it's not.
I'm waiting for that to happen again. Croval saying, try explaining Twilight Imperium in 10 seconds. All right, you ready? I'm going to. I will. A game you can play for an entire day with people and not sure if you're actually playing a game. That's Twilight Imperium. Okay, my hand, I have a level 1 Steadfast Banshee, a level 1 Flamebreak Invoker, level 1 Yeti Wallcrawler. Then I have the goods. A level 2 Rhymehorn Charger, and a level 2 Sparking Omni. So I definitely want to play the Omni. Things I'm thinking are, is there a way for me to have a board and Steven not to have a board after this is over? I have a built-in 5 damage Flame Strike with Korok. So hypothetically, I could play Sparking Omni and just take the Hunter off the board. Or I could, because this Rhymehorn Charger is aggressive and I'm going second. So what I like the idea of doing is playing the Sparking Omni and doing 4 damage to the Camouflaged Hunter. So that way it's going to go either way. And then depending on what he plays, I can use my Flame Strike against it. And then I can use the Rhymehorn in its own lane to go up to, that's an 8 aggressive that's going to happen. And then the Omni will finish off the Camouflaged Hunter. And now I could, depending on what he plays, use the 5 damage on the Hunter. That way the Omni doesn't take any damage. But the risk I'm running here a little bit is I'm continuing to upgrade all the same cards. So with too many level 1s in my hand, it could be that, don't tell Steven, I get to a point where I draw an all level 1 hand late, which is bad. That's good. Good knowledge.
Good?
Yep, we're good. Thanks, Shadow. All right.
You brought Shadow in on the...
I did nothing. None such thing.
SMG Matt, do the backline creatures deal damage to opposing frontline creatures? Yes, they do. So anytime there's a battle that's happening between creatures, they're always going to mutually attack each other. Backline creatures just don't do damage to the player if there's an empty lane in front of them.
All right, I'm going to
What's up,
play
Dan?
in lane 3 a level 2 Sparking Omni.
4 damage anything, huh?
Yeah. So I am going to activate it, just in case you get fancy somehow. And we are going to do 4 damage here. Casually points.
All right, I'm going to play Force Field. Give a creature 6 armor this turn.
Oh.
And if it's a warrior, it gets +6 attack. I'm going to go to 13 there.
And it's got stealth. It's just not comfortable.
Dude, it's warrior time. Hope nothing happens to that thing. Yeah, what do you think about that, huh?
Didn't I? I'm going to play a Rhyme Horn Charger. It's aggressive, so it will come here. And it says if another creature lost life this turn, which they have, my other creatures get +3.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll be it for me. I need to upgrade it.
So you're just going to soak one.
Yeah, I basically soak one, and I think I get you down to 1 life.
You do.
Which
Yeah.
my deck has a lot of ways
It
of
sure does.
dealing with that problem.
Okay, ready for resolution? My favorite stage of the game.
Yeah.
You're gonna dunk on me. You're at 10 health there.
Yeah.
Take 5.
Yeah.
And then I'll do 13. You're 5. You'll do 8, 6 armor, and then 2 gets through.
Yep.
So 13-1. I'm sure that'll stay around.
Andrew Cartwright, Van's check-in record for 2023, 1 for 1.
100%. That's right.
Dysphoria has Zach holding his tattered plans. My plans.
I think you're in good shape. You stabilize here.
I mean,
You're ahead.
I can't tell by the way you keep.
I know. 6 times 6 or
36.
5 times. Yeah, you're
Wow.
very much ahead. Yeah,
It's like not even close.
it's not even close.
All right, this is slide up, and this is the last turn of this cycle.
That's right. Make sure you get all your cards. Did you get your cards? Yeah, I got my upgrades. Okay, but I'm the passive player now. The strong position, some would say. What?
Okay, so this clears. I don't want to lose that ability. You know what I mean?
That? Yeah. That's a real pain.
So let's go ahead and activate. I'll do 4 here, just
Yeah.
get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Then I will play in lane 5 a level 2 Flame Shaper Savant. When I play a level 1 card, I deal 3 damage to a creature or player.
Really?
But it has to be a level 1 card, you know? Just a dude.
Deal 4 damage to anything. What is this?
Even you.
Who did
Anything,
this?
you're included.
Was Shadow involved in the development of this?
Dice Hard Entertainment. Hey guys, I wish you all a happy new year. Is there a lot of bookkeeping playing Soulforge compared to Keyforge, in which these two games play more fluently? I don't know on the second part. There's not a lot of bookkeeping at all. I think one of the best things about this compared to Keyforge is it's lane-based. So you can't ever have more than 5 things in play. And there's no complicated layering of interactions or back and forth. So the board states don't get like unruly.
This is a simpler game than Keyforge in its execution.
I agree.
It's way easier and tidier to just like play 2 things, move on, play 2 things, move on. Keyforge can get loony. This trigger, that trigger, there's 1,000 things on the board, that kind of thing. Okay, well, stick with the one that brought you, right? I gotta get this thing off the board, but you're gonna have all sorts of weird stuff that's gonna make me hate it.
This thing? This here?
Gosh, it's so good. Why are you like this all the time? Ah. All right, and you have an ability they're gonna use, right?
Do a 5 damage to a creature.
Yeah.
What's your ability? asking for a friend?
+3/+3 to a creature, and it has all creature types this turn.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering. So next turn will be the third cycle, where I have the +3 everything is aggressive ability.
Yeah.
So if I end this turn with a full board,
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Both of these things are insufferable.
excellent, excellent.
What's
Imagine
the
if I had a
Oak Father? Is that
lightning
an
strike.
80? It is an
Wouldn't that
80.
blow your mind?
Yes. Yes. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got to do some fancy wiggling here. We're going to do... Venerable Justicar here. Level 1. He's a warrior. That's why I'm playing him. And I'm going to use my ability in my ability window here. I'm going to give it +3/+3. This is going to become a 12. 10. And it is now all creature types. All types.
Mine?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to play Vyric's Embrace level 1. Deal 4 damage to a creature. So I'll do 4 there. Gain 4 life. And then it's a level 1 card. So I'll trigger the Savant. When I play a level 1 card, deal 3 damage to a creature or player. So the 3 there.
Goodness gracious.
Upgrade this. Steven's just shaking his head.
Goodness gracious.
And then I will activate Korok. And I'll do 5 damage to a creature. Here.
That one. Okay. Well, we got it out of the way. All these cards are bad now.
The warrior cards. You always go to the warriors.
No, the warriors are fine. It's like this one replaces, this one replaces, this one's if you have a scientist in play, which I would have because I had all creature times. So they're all just poor. Just poor creatures. I can't get rid of any of that stuff.
We find ourselves here once again.
We've lost.
I don't know if that's true.
We've lost the game.
It's important on the third cycle that you inject a lot of self-pity.
Self-doubt.
And wallowing.
That's right.
I don't know what those words, wallowing
it's
means.
Key. It's key.
What does wallow mean?
Oh, you know, get low.
There's a song about that.
Disgusted.
What's that thing?
Actually, no, see, that does absolutely nothing. Let's do this. Shroudthorn Splicer. I can replace another one of my creatures, which I no longer have. And it's just a 4/4.
Okay.
How about that?
So then we got a resolution.
Yeah,
You'll take 7.
that's right.
And then I will deal 7 and take 4. Then we'll discard, and there should again be 15.
Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But now, what's up, Alan Jones? Good to see ya. But now it's over. I was just setting up for this intense late game.
And the forge passes through. Yeah, you're ready.
All right, any common questions for Soulforge Fusion since we're here?
That's a good thing to be asking.
The back row, front row stuff. So back row creatures battle front row creatures and vice versa. That always happens.
Front row creatures always attack.
Yeah.
If there's a creature in the back row in the same lane, they will fight.
Yeah.
Unless they have stealth, which is a keyword that they would skip the back row, basically.
Yep, stealth skips the back row. It does not skip the front row.
That's right.
Which I did not know for a long time. 5.
Caesar's Peak, what's up? Shadow says, that's a really cool looking forge you've got there, Zach. How do I get one? Well, unfortunately, you can't anymore. It was an exclusive promo card sent with the first shipment of our subscription service, where you can sign up to automatically receive Soulforge Fusion displays. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Back 16 decks. 20% off MSRP. Each shipment comes with an exclusive promo. You sign up, you get charged a couple weeks before release, and we automatically send you however many displays that you signed up for. Super easy way to get the products. Shadow, thanks for the call out, Shadow. So if I draw all my gold and silver cards here, is that good?
It could be good.
Wow, that's a card. Wow.
I've got to deal with a world where you just do 7 damage immediately. So that's not ideal. Mommy, wow. Okay. In a world where you just do 7 damage, what do? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I play and I don't know what the lanes matter. Combat Allomancer, I'm going to immediately activate it. Deal 1 damage for each mage you have in play. That is 1. It's going to go here.
I don't think you should do that.
2 can play it this game. Mr. Bun.
My Omni.
Love it.
Michael Nicholson saying, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Glad
New
you're back.
Year. Yeah, good to see you.
No apology needed. Welcome to the party. All right. Wow. Okay. Oakley dokley. In lane 3, I'm going to play the level 2 Scorchmane Dragon. Mobility 2, so you can activate to move 2 lanes. Also deploy, deal 5 damage to an enemy creature.
What number is that, Allomancer? Oh, okay.
It looks about like
Got it.
You ever just things just line up?
You ever think somebody chose the deck at the beginning of the game?
Did you mention any Scorchmane Dragon? You did in the email, right?
I did.
You said that.
Yes. You should keep your eyes out.
We're going to be doing the why FuseFest is going to be the
best.
best event of 2023 for SolForge, but there might be dragons. You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Okay, so here we are. Bad trade. All right, we gotta live. We're just gonna live.
Mutton Chop, if you have a creature that can move lanes, when does that happen and can you do it during combat? So you can do it during your turn like an activate ability. So you can't do that on your opponent's turn. It just has to be during your activation. You can basically exhaust, or is the right keyword?
The way that I think about it is there's a window for any of that kind of stuff, activation, and then window to play a card, and there's a window for all the activations. Yeah. So it's kind of a sandwich on both sides.
Alan says, if you explain the rarity of Omni to the audience. Yeah, so if you look at the back of a Forgeborn card, the list of cards will have rarities on it. Also, like if you look at Scorchmane Dragon on the screen, it's got the yellow dot in the middle right, and that's speaking to the rarity. I'm not 100% sure how that hierarchy works. I know there's the color of the middle, and then there's also the thing around it, which is the keyword rarity. So like a Sparking Omni has the red. Red is legendary, which is very rare. But let me find an example.
All right, fine. I'll just play this Venerable Raptor here. Get this thing off the board.
Like the Steadfast Banshee is a good example. The yellow is, I think, the rarity of the Banshee. The blue on the outside is the rarity of the Steadfast, and there's layers to that. All right, what's happening?
9/5, Venerable Raptor, just trying to kill this thing.
Okay.
It'd be a shame if you had a level 1 card that did any amount of damage. Be a real shame, Zach.
That I don't think that exists.
Sure it doesn't.
It just writes itself, doesn't it?
5 is a bad number, but it's the highest number in my hand. Isn't that weird? Everything was going great until the Fire Nation attacked.
That's so good. Yeah, let's just play a level 2 Virix Embrace. So I'll deal 6 damage to a creature there, and I'll gain 6 life.
I can't believe this deck.
It slaps, man. I don't even know.
You built this on purpose. This wasn't a random pairing.
You saw me out there messing with my decks
This
earlier.
was not a random pairing. This is like World Championship level garbage.
I'm gonna present it as though it was randomly done, but I'm prepared to dunk on
garbage
Steven.
can.
All right, end of the turn.
Takes 7.
Only stuff in my front row attacks, so it'll do 7. Then we discard. This slides up. I get the Forge. I'll draw it back up to 5. Mitchell's saying, off-topic question. I'm assuming you guys have discontinued most of the Mythos board designs. I don't see them on your site anymore.
That's right. That is correct. Yeah, we'll do, looking to do Scarlet Keys, do a limited edition run on that, but then they'll all just be one and done moving forward.
Huh. Okay, that seems good. This all seems very, very strong. Lane 2, I'm going to play a Combat Spirit. It's level 1. If it's played in a lane with an opposing creature, destroy it. It's not. So it'll just be
Wow.
an 8/5.
Oh, wait. Destroy it or the opposing creature?
Destroy it.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, that would be crazy. It's a level 1 card, so I'll trigger my Flame Shaper Savant, which will do 3 damage to you.
To me?
Creature or...
Why is Shadow out there? Why does this exist?
Oh my goodness.
Why do you make these cards?
I have to play a level 1 card, dude.
Why do you make these cards?
That is so funny.
Ugh,
Anderson,
like
how do you get all these
hose.
card pops with how varied the cards can be? And then Dysphoria speculating, I believe they scanned my collection. That's exactly what we did. They picked 24 of my decks and got all the cards in the system so we could actually play them on stream.
Okay. Torgmine Guardian in the back row here. Lane 5. Sure. We'll try our best. 7/8. Okay. Nice.
I will, in lane 4, play Dr. Frankenbaum. When a creature is destroyed by him, I can place a mindless zombie minion in the lane.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I have 12 health. So I can take 11, which is 7 and 4.
Just like perfectly right here.
Perfectly right there, isn't it? As long as you never play a level 1 card ever again.
Andrew, it's not a complete stream until the cards make Steven into a new Discord emoji.
Dude, this is a new vibe out here today. Zach bringing us something crazy.
Alan Jones, what are your thoughts on the second turn player? I find it interesting in this game that the first turn is important, but seems the advantage lies with the proper use of second turn plays into combat. I mean, I think it's a really nice design because most of the time your creatures go in the back lane. So you do have an advantage to play things that will stick around if you're going second. But the vast majority of the things you would play don't do a lot on the second turn. And given that your back row stuff doesn't resolve combat, even the ability to directly destroy a creature second, like at the end before it's over, and create those kind of swings is, I think, a really nice structure to that whole system.
All right, let's play the old Shroud Thorn Splicer. And then I'm going to activate my...
Ooh, what's that do?
Give my creatures +4 health. So these guys will go to 12. And 10, respectively. And then this is a 6. And then I will gain 4 life.
Nice. Okay. So resolution?
Mm-hmm.
I'll deal 7. You'll deal 7. I'll deal 4 to you.
4 to my face.
Mm-hmm. I'll deal 7 to you. I'll deal 8, and you will deal enough to destroy me.
That's right. Who's laughing now?
Then we'll discard and play the final, your active turn of this cycle. And the abilities on the Forge board
Potentially the game.
are definitely use them or lose them.
Yeah. Okay.
How is a dragon not a creature? I'm just asking for a friend.
What is it? It's not a creature? It says creature there.
I mean beast. How's it not a beast?
It's a dragon. It's not a beast. It's intelligent. You know, a beast has a certain level.
You know what? That's true. Dragons, in certain contexts, have intelligence. Okay, I'm there.
In certain contexts, for sure. How have you taken any damage this game? What is that? Why is that board full? What are you gaining life from?
I gain life from several things. So
that freaking card. What is that card? That card is so good.
I have Varric's Embrace that I've played 2 copies of, the bronze and the silver, which gains 4 and 6 life, I think, respectively. Yeah, 4 and 6. I have the Soul Reap, which gains life when I play it.
Yeah. Who is this?
Yeah.
Who is this?
I was really trying to get back to 50. You know.
Yeah, that's a
before
good.
this is
That's a
over.
good. You want to do it like NBA Dream Team 1997
Yeah, exactly.
situation.
How'd you know?
Oh, this guy's +2/+2 as well. Don't worry about it. A creature entered the back row.
I believe you.
I need every advantage I
Yeah,
can get.
I'll give you one.
Am I the active guy now?
You are the active guy.
Oh no.
What could possibly go wrong?
Okay. Well, we've got mobility problems.
Dysphoria saying, dang, I didn't know they'd be discontinued. So it's possible, like, as an example, around the holidays, we might do a sign up and make a limited run of that kind of thing. But keeping them all in stock forever is just not feasible.
All right. Venerable Justicar. Watch out. My level 2s are coming for you, buddy. These warriors are packing. 9/7. No text. I like it. Fundies. I like it to be exactly what it is. I don't need any text. I don't want any abilities. Just want the numbers.
You're going to love everything that's happening here.
I've got to cover basically every lane. But at the same time, if you use your ability, you get +3 to old Frankenman. But I've got to cover mobility 2 here. So I can't win.
I can't not lose. That's the thing you have to do. Yeah, man. It's a problemo. Strictly. Let's...
But, you know.
I'm going to activate my dragon. Let's just move him. You'll see why. Then I'm going to play a Yeti Wallcrawler. Level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know I had those left. He has an activated ability, which I'll use immediately. Need more tokens.
What is it? What does it say?
It says if a creature changed lanes this turn, deal 3 damage to a creature or player.
You can use this. Wait, did it change lanes? It did.
The dragon.
You're going to deal 3 damage to a creature or player?
To a creature or player.
You going to do it to the creature? It's a 6/2.
Yeah, I'll do it to the creature, actually. Yeah. It's just another land that you can't cover. You know what I mean? So he's activated. Just remember that.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we're in the problematic. But look at this, though. I'm going to finish it off with the greatest play. Steadfast Captain. A 10/11, other warriors get +4/+4.
Wow. We like the stonk. Beefy boys. You know I like beefy boys.
Dude, this is Beefy Boy Central right here.
Man.
I just got there a little short.
Yeah, you were like a couple, like a turn or two short from it. But this is a problem.
It would have been a problem. That's correct. It would have been a problem.
I'd need one of them there board clears. Okay.
I got there a little too late. We can see what's supposed to happen here. You see, I built to it. Achieved my goal.
I do like it.
I just failed
miserably.
But otherwise...
It all went according to plan.
It all went according to plan.
All right. Mine?
Yeah.
This feels like an appropriate way to cap this one off. So I'm going to play a level 3 back row, Sparking Omni.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I'm going to activate Korok. So all my things get aggressive and +3. So this is now going to be an 11, 14. Just really... No, we know this is the resolution of this, but we're just going to enjoy the process.
Oh, goodness.
So then this is going to go up to a 7. This is going to go up to a 7.
Deal 6 damage to anything. Huh. Anything.
Weird.
Really.
Make that a 10. Then I'm going to activate the Omni, and I'm going to do 6 to anything. I think I'm going to choose you.
Okay. Yeah, dead. Oh, man, that was a stomping.
What's crazy is, all right, so let's say you didn't die here.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Hypothetically. But I would take 13. This would go away. This would go away.
Yeah.
And you would have 3 beefy things.
I had established the beef. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So like I said, just a little bit behind. Just wanted some of those perfect board clears and perfect moments. But the game is tight. Like even just 1 health off there and having a body that prevents 7 damage here and there is a huge deal. So there's a ton of that tactical kind of like, how can you thread the needle with the cards that you've got?
And I definitely like
Zoom it out.
there are moments, and you're just looking for those moments where like I was capable of both building into the end game I was wanting, but just cleanly dealing with that. That's why you're so. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
like it's just like too perfect.
There's a lot of those.
Of a scenario. So after game's over, I just literally scan through and divide by the colors, so red and purple.
Yeah.
As my first step, and then stack those back out. And then at that point, it's really easy to arrange these by their border color.
Back into their decks. And that's basically it.
Ready to play again.
Isn't that great? So there you have it. How to play Soulforge Fusion. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, for a number of reasons. One, it's a fantastic game. This to me is a great 1 to 2 box. I mean, you can definitely go into it and find the perfect deck pairing and all of that. But getting a box or two and just pairing up decks in various ways, seeing the combinations that you like, doing sealed style stuff where we're randomly get a bunch of decks together, randomly pair them and just play. You do that forever. And the game experience is fantastic. It scratches the right itch. And we've talked about this before, but notably it does not give you that like exhausted brain burn feeling that mini games will leave you with that are of this level.
Yeah, like right now I feel refreshed. Like I feel like I had a challenge and I
great
solved some
pace.
problems, but I'm not exhausted. And particularly with also being on content / live or doing whatever, there's an extra burn there. So I think the complexity is just right, and I could do this all day, honestly. And you just, even this scenario, the amount of deck building we did, which was little to none, play it, I felt like I was playing a full-on card game. Like I was getting that deck building experience. I liked both of these halves, but it's super easy to be like, all right, well, I'm going to grab this other red half and play it with this.
Yeah, just play it with this.
See what happens.
Like, see what the pairings
going.
are. Yeah, it's really good. And so if you guys are interested in this game, we sell the games we like. And so this is one of them. So we have a subscription for it. That's our like premier service that we've had running now for 8 years now, huh?
Subscriptions?
Yeah, is it longer than that?
12 years.
Oh my gosh. 12
2011.
years? We've been around for 16?
Yeah.
We had it 4 years in?
So
There's no way.
subscriptions came about because we started, as we're preparing for
It was pretty
1.0,
early, wasn't it?
we got into the LCGs because
Yeah.
it was like, these are games that we think could really find an audience locally,
12
just
years.
more cost effective. And then immediately it was like, second time I emailed Robert to say, hey, can I get the next Thrones pack? I was like,
Yeah.
can you just put me down permanently? And then it was like, wait a second. Other people might want to do this.
So 12 years. Wow. So we've been doing subscriptions for 12 years. We add games to subscriptions that we like.
So long we forgot how long.
And the basis of it is you sign up and then you just automatically get sent product for the game. So like if you sign up for Soulforge Fusion right now, you'll get set 2. If you sign up later, the next release field will always tell you the next release that's happening. And it basically stemmed from, like Zach was saying, our like, why do we have to constantly pre-order or constantly be buying the new products for the games that we want to play? We'd rather just say to somebody, Covenant in this case, hey, when there's a new release for this game, will you charge me for it and send it to me? That's all that subscriptions are. Yeah. So
and in the Soulforge case, comes with an exclusive promo every time.
it does, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of times we'll have things in stock too if you're looking to get started. Like at this very moment of this recording, we have set 1 booster kits in stock, and each kit comes with 4 decks, 1 from each color. And that's a perfect way to get started.
Was Conquest the first sub?
It was Lord of the Rings.
It was Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, the 2 LCGs that existed when we first started.
That's right. Yeah. So thank you guys for stopping in. And we'll end the video there, but we're still live. Ooh.
We are still live. We have one more to do.
What do we got to do?
Let me check this one off real quick. Great stuff.
FuseFest?
Why FuseFest is going to be
Oh,
the
that's
greatest.
so easy. How short do you want this one?
I'm interested in learning SolForge again. That was an hour long.
Yeah? We're not doing it again now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about if you're editing that, I think after we get through one turn cycle, like you don't have to have a whole game.
That might be the end of it, yeah.
Like once we show the cycle and Steven uses like an ability, I think on the first, you've kind of covered all the stuff.
I'm going to separate these guys. I'm going to give these back to you real quick.
Okay, great.
How's it going out there in Streamland? What's going on in the live world?
Fan says, welcome back. Glad to see you guys.
Anybody have any additional thoughts on AI?
Steve picked this up yesterday.
Yeah,
Was
great.
this or a Magic Commander deck took a chance on SolForge, and I love it. Welcome. I love hearing that. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really, the more there's something about the pace of it that is really good. Just really, it prevents that weird, like, lean forward, like, aggressiveness that happens in games. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, the structure of the game is play one card, play one card, play one card, play one card.
Yeah, it just keeps it just keeps the tempo really nice.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's like just enough going on and just enough thinking without overwhelming you or making you feel like you need to speed to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
You're playing from moment one, and the decision on turn one can be as impactful as the last decision you make. Because a lot of times, like we saw there, you're kind of in a position where you actually, on the last turn, can't. You might have an answer, but you also sometimes just don't.
Yeah.
So
Just get wrecked.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about FuseFest. Ready?
Are we gonna like do a full?
Yeah, we'll do the full. How long do you want this, Bryce?
Under 10 minutes, probably.
10 minutes? Oh, yeah, easy. It'll be like 1 minute, maybe.
Well, what is FuseFest?
I can totally get it.
Try to do more than 5 if you can.
Okay.
I want to do an actual video of it, not like a reel with everything.
All right, FuseFest. You guys have any questions about FuseFest out there? Before we get into it, we'll do a quick take, but that's worth asking if there are anyone's confused or curious about how that event's going to work.
FuseFest.
FuseFest?
SMG Matt saying, dice seem like a must for this game, but aren't the starter. Do you have any thoughts on how you can improve with custom tokens?
I think it's just the D10s.
Tokens are for like on-off things or for something that's like effectively 3 different moments. So nothing a 1 or a 2 or like basically 3 different possible statuses. But once you get into varying health from 1 to 50, tokens get really burdensome. Even doing increments of 3s and 5s and stuff, like it just takes up a lot of space. So I think it just happens that dice are given the number of moving numbers and how often they move and how many are on the board. Doing that with tokens would just be, I think, more tedious than helpful.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the D10s, and interesting, the spin down D10s, those are really good.
Shadow's got a good question. Why is it only 1 day long?
Why is it only one? Well, you can come in on Friday.
We'll
and you
cover
can
that, yeah.
Leave whenever you want on Sunday.
We will cover it.
The official version is only so long, but people getting together on a weekend, well, that could take any form that you might expect.
Michael bought my ticket to FuseFest on Monday. Can't wait.
Awesome, Michael. Can't wait to see you. And you're going on charge plated?
On Monday.
Nice.
I think. Monday afternoon.
Yeah, Monday. Chat with those guys. The Canadians?
I don't think so. I think they're from like, I feel like the Pacific Northwest. So kind of.
Yeah.
But like, I want to say like Portland or Seattle.
That's right.
Like
That's right.
That's what's in my mind.
It was sad. I just can't remember. I remember thinking, oh, well, look at that.
To us, that's the North.
Yeah, look at these Northerners.
Yeah, that must be Canada, eh?
Confusing.
Shadow says Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah, it's Minnesota. Yeah. It's Minnesota. I remember thinking FFG.
Who is I listening to from Portland?
Hopefully nobody. Just kidding. Got a lot of good friends in Portland.
I don't remember.
You watch Portlandia?
I have not seen Portland.
If not, oof, it's good. Yeah, I think they're from Minnesota. Charge plating.
There's too many shows. I can't keep up.
Minnesota, which means they are in the FFG event sphere, right?
The Game Center?
Yeah, they're in the Game Center gravity well.
Shadow says he doesn't remember. I don't know, man. I feel like it was... Maybe I'm confused because PAX was in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
and they were
PAX
talking
is
about
always in it,
PAX.
yeah.
Or someone was talking about PAX. I don't know.
Okay, here's some decks. You can have these back.
You got the Forge one?
These tasty
numbers.
decks.
All right.
A little ahead of its time, really.
Frank says FuseFest will be my first trip to Oklahoma.
Yeah, cool. Oh, Frank, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
To answer the 1 day question, beyond the logistical reality of a multi-day event for us on the hosting front, I said earlier, and we'll potentially get into this when we're actually talking about the FuseFest video, but one of my favorite things about these events that we go to are a lot of times not even the events themselves, but it's sharing in the event and the experience, and then hanging out with people after is just a very unique piece of traveling. I traveled last year a lot to the Fab events. I was talking about the patent pending bar that we went to.
Yep.
At the event. And so it's nice because I know a lot of people are getting in early midday Friday that are planning on hanging out in Tulsa and playing Soulforge. People are going to hang out Saturday night. People are going to hang out on Sunday. So it kind of lets it be, for people that can only make it, it can be a focus thing on Saturday. And that's particular for like locals as well. If you're local and you can just commit one day to this, it's not like a weekend-long thing that you're signing up for. But then it leaves space for, honestly, what I think these events are really about, which is people from all over the country with a shared hobby getting together, sitting across the table from each other and playing, and then having the breathing room to share in experiences that it can be more of that. I mean, you can go to Lobby Bar, you can find somewhere to hang out and play Soulforge and do whatever you want all weekend. But some of the events we hosted back at 2.0, my fondest memories are connected to a lot of times after the event.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So here's what Soulforge FuseFest is. Okay,
hit me with it.
So to Zach's point, there's going to be plenty of time to make real connections with people outside of the event itself. But the event is on Saturday. It's going to start from 8 to 10 a.m.
February 4th.
February
2023 specifically.
2023. Maybe more. Maybe 2024, is coming. Maybe 2025.
FuseFest. If there's FuseFest 2 or,
It could happen. It could happen. It could be a yearly thing. So we'll get together on Saturday morning. We'll start with a provided breakfast buffet in the event space itself. So 8 to 10 a.m., grab a plate, eat some food, meet players, meet everybody who's traveled in. I see Jeremy Young saying coming in from Springfield, Missouri on Friday, looking for stuff to do on Friday night. So that 8 to 10 is a great time to just get to know people. We really wanted to do this because I love, we've talked about this a lot. I don't say we love the idea of people coming to something like this and not immediately getting involved in an activity and in like a competitive thing, but having the first thing that you do during the day being more of a social and community thing. So it breaks the ice. People get to know each other a little bit. You do the one thing that humans have done for thousands and thousands of years, which is share a meal together.
Breaking bread, man.
Breaking bread. And, everybody's happier when they're eating. And they have biscuits and gravy and eggs and fruit and who knows what else is going to be on there.
Coffee and bacon.
Coffee. So get warmed up and enjoy. When you walk in that 8 to 10 a.m. window, we'll register you, which will be giving you some things. This is going to be 4 alt art minion cards. So this would be sweet. We've got 1 creature with 3 versions. That's alt art. That's going to be the Scorchman Dragon. It looks great. So you'll get that. You'll also get a Forge card with a QR code that's going to track your stuff during the storyline event. And then is there one other thing? Did I miss? I think those are the 3 things that are.
You're also going to get a booster kit.
Oh, you get 1 booster kit
set 2,
to start.
World premiere
of set 2. The first time human hands have ever been on set 2.
Show up. You're going to open your decks, seeing cards that no one's seen before. Can you imagine?
Awesome. You get a fresh
fire.
box of set 2. You get some exclusive promo stuff. You get a fresh box of set 2. You walk over. You get a plate of whatever food you want. You sit down. You open your cards. You're looking at it. You're having a great time. You're showing other people what you got. There's apparently some new stuff in this set. There's some wild stuff in this set that's like totally different than what we've been experiencing in set 1. It's going to be crazy. So then after that, you're going to get a moment where you're going to sit down at a table across from other people. You're gonna have nothing with you except for you're playing stuff. And then you're going to be handed another box of set 2, fresh,
all right,
sealed,
whole new box.
And you're going to take that sealed box, you're going to open it, you're going to look through the new decks that you've just got. You're going to put 2 of those together from that sealed box, and then we're going to have a little sealed tournament. 3 rounds of just hanging out, playing sealed. No real stakes. The way that the prizing is going to work is when the constructed tournament happens later in the day, the top 8 are going to be guaranteed to get a top 8 playmat. There's going to be 16 playmats that are given out at random but you're going to increase your odds of getting a playmat for every win that you have throughout the event. If you win 0 games, you still have a chance of getting playmat. So it's not like a winner takes all kind of
just
thing.
the odds are a little lower.
Just the odds get a little higher as you win more matches to kind of, you do well, you get a little reward.
Part of that also encourages people to finish out the event.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
There's just a little hint of something worth your time, but not so serious that people are like cutthroat about the games.
That's right. Yeah. So you're gonna play that sealed event 3 rounds, and then we're gonna break for lunch. So it's gonna be around noon or 1. I plan on eating enough breakfast that I don't have to eat lunch.
Yeah, but if you eat at 8, by 12 o'clock,
Well, but if you really take advantage of that buffet,
yeah, that's right.
you got to pack it in like a camel. You don't, because I don't want to go.
Some people can do that.
Now you can call in Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever and have food delivered to the place. You can get in a car and go somewhere with other people. There's some good restaurants around that area. Go to India Palace for their. Do they have their? They'll have their buffet, won't they, for lunch?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
India Palace is nearby.
that could be a mistake, but it would be delicious. Delicious. So you come back from lunch. We start a constructed tournament.
Eating convention?
Going to be 6 rounds. Yeah, honestly, like so much of that convention
More
experience is eating and drinking.
Yeah.
6 rounds of constructed. You can take any of your set 2 decks that you've gotten at the beginning during registration or during the sealed event. You can trade with other people and say, hey, I need warriors in my.
But it's got to be set 2 decks.
It's got to be set 2.
The only way that people could
only
get set 2 decks.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, I need plants. Do you guys, anyone have a deck with a lot of plants in it? And then people trade and swap, and that's what we hope.
Notably, if you're local or even like a regionally close to Tulsa and come to this event, you could show up for the constructed part.
Yeah.
Like you miss breakfast and you miss that stuff, but like if time is relevant, I know there's some people with scheduling conflicts and stuff. You show up, get your stuff, pick your decks, and roll.
Yeah. Anytime you show up, you can get your business. And so then we got the constructed for 6 rounds, and then after that there will be a top 8 players that we'll announce. They'll probably play some games. We're kind of deciding how we want to do that. We will likely just pair you off and have you play a top 8, because I think we're gonna take the finals. We're gonna go and record that and do a gameplay video for that back in the commentary booth for the first time in 1,000 years. Zach,
it's been a while.
We'll be streaming it because hotel internet is very sketchy, but we will be recording it. I think Charge Plated is looking at maybe doing some recording that day too. So we'll do a top 8 where the competitors can fight it out for the champion of FuseFest, and then everybody else. You guys can do whatever you want. You can continue to play set 2. You can go grab some drinks from the lobby bar. You'll eventually go get dinner, these kinds of things. But it's pretty open form at that point. Shadow's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of great Soulforge Fusion players there. You can bring your set 1 decks and play set 1 as well. And
good time for trading as well.
Trade, yeah, and look through each other's collections, that kind of thing.
We have if you're not on our Discord channel, I highly recommend it. And there's a Soulforge channel there, and there's going to be a thread for FuseFest. There already is one.
Yeah.
And if you're having trouble finding that, just post on the Soulforge channel, and we'll make it happen. Threads are a little tricky. But people in the chat were saying earlier they'd like to be able to coordinate meetups and places to go. So in that thread, I'll make a lot of recommendations. I'm intending on at least hanging out all day Saturday and hanging out Saturday night. Depending on how many people there are, we already have, I think, around 70 people coming to this event.
70 so far, yeah.
Getting 70 people to any one place is like very challenging, both getting them there and then also getting them in at the same time. So the goal is to have the ability for people to kind of do what they want and make connections and have a good time. Tons of recommendations of stuff, and we'll there's some places we normally figure out, but yeah, people just hanging out and having a good time.
And we got the room until about midnight, I think. And then a lot of times these things will spill into lobby or various hotel rooms and that kind of thing. Or, at this point in my life, that's bedtime.
Yeah.
I'm not cool anymore.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But if you go to bed and then wake up Sunday, there are going to be people hanging out and having coffee.
Yeah.
And
there will probably be people that haven't been to sleep.
Yeah.
We know how this goes. And that's that. And then if you want, everyone's welcome, of course, to stick around on Sunday. I think we'll probably, I'll probably try to grab breakfast in town. I don't know if I'll stay in town or not. I'll have to make that decision. But might do breakfast and then just kind of send an open invite to the Discord, anybody that wants to roll by. And that's how that's going to go. So Friday, if you're coming in early, hop on the Discord, hit that thread up, and just be like, where are people going? Who wants to do what? Let's figure this out.
Obviously, travel things and flight delays and stuff pending, but I know Shadow will be here early on Friday. There's a ton of people said they're going to be here on Friday, so I think there'll be a lot of people at the hotel on Friday evening, and then we'll post about other spots people might be hanging out.
That's it. So we hope we'll see you there. This is the first Soulforge Fusion event that we've done. We're still kind of just like doing this in this local hotel that we've got a partnership with. As we're building out and working on this third iteration of our local store where we would love to host FuseFest next year, God willing. Please let it be so. So we hope to see you there.
One thing I want to mention, right, sliding this in as we get out of here. The overall tenor of the event is laid back. So it's not overly serious. If you're new or you don't consider yourself very competitive, the design of the event, the way it's structured is hopefully approachable for you. Also, if you're brand new, the only thing you really need are D10s.
Get some D10s.
A recommendation, you show up, you'll have decks to play. Steven's going to be teaching people how to play at 10, right?
At 10, or really at 9.
At 9?
Like 9-ish, yeah.
After you eat some food, after you load up like a
during
camel.
breakfast.
Yeah. So new players are welcome. If you're really good at the game, obviously you're welcome to come and try to be as good at the event as you can and make it to that top 8. And hopefully it's an experience that is welcoming and available for all levels of player and interest. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be just a heck of a time.
Be good vibes. Yeah, hope to see you there. All right, everybody. I think we've done it. Have we done the days due?
I have crossed it all off.
Oh, we did it. We got through it. It was so hard, Zach.
I know. It's just exhausting to look at you. Van says I would come for the tutorial and just to hang out with Steven.
Oh, Van. Man, we got to meet in person. We got to get this going. Maybe we'll do a... maybe we should plan it for like the end of this year or something. Do a big like
Van meetup?
Streamers unite. Covenant stream watchers.
I mean, do you just have some universal gathering?
Gathering though.
Just the dead game gathering?
Yeah. Or really, it's just Covenant. It's just a Covenant convention.
Yeah, the CovCon.
CovCon. I found that it's really the best thing to do is to take our name and put it in front of the thing. Yeah. Is really the best way to brand it.
Covenant subscriptions, Covenant components, Covenant Tulsa, Covenant playmat, Covenant shirt,
Covenant convention,
Covenant cocktail.
Don't shorten that one. You don't want that.
Covenant cornbread. You know, it just writes itself. Covenant coffee.
Oh, man. It's been fun, everybody. Hey, thank you for joining us on the first stream of 2023. We hope to see you again next week. Yeah. We'll be doing it again.
Yeah. And kind of like today, at least the plan right now is the first bit will be catching up and just hanging out and checking out news. And then we'll dive into various stuff. And sometimes I think it'll be mix and match too. Yeah. It just depends on what we want to create.
We're working on, we've got some real... So let me run this by you. This will either be like a thing we clip out like 20 years from now when it's the most successful show on television.
Mark you.
Or not. But we think one thing that would be really fun, so it's a variation of our old What's in the Box idea, which is a terrible title for reasons befitting the song of the same name, where we were going to bring a secret game, put it on the table, and then one of us would surprise the other with it. So I think we should do that. We're hip to doing that still. But imagine if, like, we're on stream, and the whole thing was we talk early on and we catch up with everybody and whatnot, and then it's like, all right, Zach, what have you brought for us to play today, or vice versa? All right, Steven, what have you brought for us?
Total surprise.
And we just flip it each week. You bring something for us to play, and then next week I bring something for us to play, and we don't ever know what it's going to be. Wouldn't that be interesting? I think.
I mean. Yeah, I like the idea.
Because most of the time it might be like, I really want to test Bolton because I got to play at this Pro Quest on Sunday for Flesh and Blood.
But sometimes it's like, you remember that Tomb Raider game we played?
Yeah. Sometimes it's Tomb Raider, sometimes like,
I keep hearing about this
today.
Spirit Island game.
Yeah, exactly. It could be like, let's play Spirit Island. And we just do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what the hobby really is.
John says, today we got Candyland.
That's what the hobby is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Most of the time, how much of it is, most of the time, you are going to somebody's house or you're at a board game meetup, and then the question is, what are we going to play today? And then somebody does this, and then is like, I brought Agricola, and everyone's like, oh.
I worked at the store on Sunday for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
That was our board game day. And we would consistently have 30 to 50 people showing up with a bag or a box or whatever, a stack of games. Exactly. They pair off into 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. And it's like, all right, what do we want to play out of this stack? And they just mix and match the whole time.
Yeah, it's great, right? It's great. I don't know how it would do on the algorithms, but I think it'd be great.
Who cares about the algorithms?
Who cares about the algorithms?
Burn
Let's
it down.
kill the robots.
Yeah, we're officially, that's the new thing. It's the anti-robot movement. Are you with us? And am I asking you or the robot?
I'm ready to get out of here before the robots take over.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend.
Week, everybody.
Thanks for being here. Come to FuseFest, and we'll see you next week.
I don't remember how to do this.
About to find out.